What's up? How we doing? What's good, folks? What's good? How we feeling? How's life? How's the world treating you? Splash, I was thrown off by seeing you here, but then I remembered it's President's Day. Happy day off. Let's see if I can get the camera to focus on me. Might be a miracle. Yes, I just don't want that to face that way. So we're gonna try something new today. I've got TikTok. I want my TikTok key, and so it said the idea to get that is to stream on there a couple times, and then they'll give it to you. So we shall find out. But I'm going to try and go live to unbox our Manga Spice Cafe today. So that'll at least be something on my stream docket. And maybe we'll try, whenever we do things like that, we'll bring in stuff like that. So time will tell. We'll figure it all out. I did just realize I don't have Twig up, though. I'm pulling Twig up now. What's up, everybody?
It's time to gachapon.
Yes, it is. It is time to gachapon. I love not having to press a button, dude. Ah, that's so nice. Technology is amazing, is it not? Technology is amazing. Let's go ahead and get you a gachapon and a movie game. And of course, Zando, congratulations on being first. You earned it. You deserve it. You matter. And we don't just throw that word around here. Ooh, please don't do that. Oh boy. You okay, phone? I really don't want to buy a new phone. Sounds like a good idea. Whoop. Couldn't do that again if I tried. A page out of Nate's book. Hey, we love it. We love hearing from the Mirror Mural. So let's RNGesus. What are you doing? You got a new phone yesterday? You had to? Oh no. I don't like those words. I don't like the words had to. What's up? What happened, Zando? All right, page 31. Oh, old one finally meant a drop it couldn't handle. Ugh. I know that feel. I had it happen to me whenever we were moving. And I got so mad. We're going to go to the next nearest page we haven't read. All right. I thought for sure we'd read all of the Dying Dave pages at this point, but it looks like there's another Dying Dave page for us to read. So we're going to turn on some piano music, of course. This has got to be a serious, somber moment. For those of you that don't know the story behind Read Nate's book, I wrote a book whenever I was 10 years old. It's very bad. It's very embarrassing. I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy that it exists or that it's out there, so I decided to put it on the internet for people to hear one page at a time without any context or clarity or understanding behind it. So this is page 33, because page 31 was read, of the Mirror Mural, presented without context. This was written by a 10-year-old. Nate, he had issues. Chapter 6, Alpha Phase 2, the ever-long chapter that it feels like we just keep reading from. Okay. "I can't die, kid," he replied. He ripped down his button-up shirt, revealing the scars that Barry had given him on a previous fight. "But you nearly hit my vitals. Even if you had, I'd find a way to find you." "Yeah," Barry responded. "Sucks for you." "You can't kill me, kid," Dying Dave repeated. He popped his neck and crouched down, ready to take any attack that Barry could dish out. "However, this time, I'm actually going to try." "You're going to feel dumb when you're dead," Barry said, smart alecky. He'd been formulating a plan ever since Dying Dave had stepped into the ring. You could tell by the look on his face that he was serious. They then began to madly throw punches at each other, not caring if one connected or landed. They simply had a no-hold-barred brawl. They appeared to be equally matched as they backed away from one another. Each looked worn down and tired, blooding dripping from each of them. In an attempt to lull the fight, Dave lashed out his pistol and took 3 shots at Barry's chest, which were easily evaded. Barry ran towards Dave and punched him in the gut, stunning him and making Dave lose his gun. Then Barry swooped away from Dave and threw a knife straight at him. Dave groaned, groping his bleeding side. "Give it up, kid!" He'd already begun to stitch it up, and it healed in the time it took for him to say what he had to say. "You just can't beat the best. Give up." "Never!" Barry roared stubbornly. He appeared to be getting angrier and angrier as he met his never-ending foe. He used his rage as willpower to make every attack he made a little stronger than the last. The two were perfectly matched in every way. Dying Dave moaned as he withstood every attack Barry lashed out. He would quickly stitch up his wound every time he bled. He truly was invincible. "Immortality is impossible!" Barry yelled. He then threw a barrage of weapons, possibly every weapon that he owned, including his buttons on his pants and the pin in his pocket. He then laughed loudly and said, "I've done it!" What did he do? You'll have to find out on page 34 of the Mirror Mural. Wow. All right. Back over to our chill step. Okay. Movie game for Zando. Folks, I really missed everybody last week. It was a long week. I'm glad to be back with you. Really, genuinely, unbelievably glad to be back with you. Okay, Zando. I'm going to crank it down a little bit. It feels a little loud. Does it feel a little... No, actually, it's not that loud on the feedback. It's just loud here. Okay, your prompt, Zando, is an adorable kitty is kidnapped, and to get it back, a pair of cousins infiltrate a dangerous gang of dancing periodical delivery lads. An adorable kitty is kidnapped, and to get it back, a pair of cousins infiltrate a dangerous gang of dancing periodical delivery lads. I like it. Once you get it, you get it. Once you get it, you get it. And then once Zando gets done answering that, we're going to do some Jeopardy. What? Where's voice mod? Weird. Changing Ben, give me a minute and I can give it more thought. All good. I'm going to go drop over in the Discord while you're doing that. Let people know we are live. Heyo, love thy nerd. What's up? Welcome in. Oh my goodness, look at all the pieces just exploding all around. Welcome. Oh, so many bombs. They're still dropping bombs. That's enough bombs. That's enough slices. What's up? How did the rest of stream go? Welcome in. I was just about to drop to our chat. Let them know that we are live. With some PokeMondays. We're going to play some Pokemon here in just a second. How was Marvel Snap? Did you win? Did you keep winning? I saw that there were definitely some, like, you couldn't stop winning there for a second. All right, hopefully that GIF is appropriate. I get so nervous about GIFs. One time, and Zando can attest to this, one time I posted a GIF without watching to the very end, and it had, thank goodness, the most innocuous profanity it could have had at the end, and I was mortified. I was so embarrassed because it was on my Nerd Passionate account too. It's not like it could have been just on a general account. No. It had to be on my account. It had to be on like the church account, and it had a certain meme that I wouldn't have shared had I known it was there. And to this day, I still can't live it out. But yeah, it looked like y'all were having a good time. One of these days, I'm going to get back into some Marvel Snapped. I promise. Promise. It's going to happen. I don't know when. I don't know how. I don't know where. But it's going to happen. Folks, we got a great day planned. We're going to be doing some... we're about to do Jeopardy. And then Xander's going to do Back to answer his movie game. We're going to do some Twig, talk about This Week in Geek, and talk about what is going on in the past week. And then we're going to unbox our Manga Spice Cafe, which is a monthly subscription box for manga and Japanese snacks. I should just say Asian snacks because it's not always just Japanese. And then we are going to play some Pokemon White. That's our game plan. That's the game plan for today. And hopefully advertisements are actually going to work today. None of you should have gotten a pre-roll ad whenever you hopped in here. If you did, let me know. You should have gotten no pre-roll. And ideally, a little notification is going to come up right here in this corner saying when an advertisement is about to start, and then we'll see a little like line go across the screen. So we shall see. Welcome in, Lucas Stevens. How are you doing? Welcome. We're glad that you're here. Just went over kind of the big plans that we have for today and all the fun stuff that we've got going on. The first one we're going to do is going to be Jeopardy. So these are general Jeopardy question. Was the movie game That Darn Cat? It was not. It was not. You want me to read it again since you've had a little bit of time away from it now? An adorable kitty is kidnapped, and to get it back, a pair of cousins infiltrate a dangerous gang of dancing periodical delivery lads. And Lucas Stevens, you're good. Glad to hear it. I'm doing good here. Last week was kind of a wash because I wasn't here Monday through Thursday. And so I only was able to work Friday. And now I'm like back into it and I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. I want to know right now. Feeling it. So I'm feeling good. I'm in it. I'm in it to win it. I've got a standing desk now. I'm not at it currently. I haven't figured out how to stream from it yet. But that's a very exciting advancement in my desk here, is now I have the ability to stand, which is just revolutionary, truly revolutionary. The fact that we didn't think of this before is just amazing to me. Like the fact that my dad didn't grow up working in an office with a standing desk is like, wow, why? Why did we not think of the genius of standing? So now I'm thinking about, do I need a dad joke? Sure. Do I need a treadmill? Do I need to go full health core here? Full health core. Okay, here is your dad joke of the day. Let's see. Trying to find one that's like short. I got this book called Dad Jokes, and sometimes they're like stories. Like that take up a whole page. Okay. Question and answer. Question. How is a baby bird like its dad? How is a baby bird like its dad? Any guesses? Any guesses in the chat before I tell you guys the answer? How is a baby bird like its dad? Xando, hint for the first movie is it's a Key and Peele movie. How is a baby bird like its dad? The answer, it's a chirp off the old block. We love it. The dads. The jokes for the dads. Chats in the clap for the joke. With that, let's get our Jeopardy prompts up. We have a Jeopardy scoreboard. The points are all made up and they don't matter, as they would say on Whose Line. We're going to go through two of them. And we actually have a double Jeopardy, so it's going to be worth a little bit more this time. The way that we play Jeopardy is Keanuzies. It is. Chats in the clap for Xando. Keanuzies is the prompt of the day. Wonderful. Such a good one. Like I said, once you get it, you get it. Okay. The way that we do Jeopardy is you just type the answer in as soon as you know it. So don't feel the need to type in like a what is or to buzz in or anything like that. You don't have to put it in question form. Just put the answer to the actual answer prompt and we will count it. So prompt number 1, category is down in Africa. It's worth 1K and even 1,000. Answer. This North African country belonged to France for about 130 years until 1962. Category is down in Africa, worth 1K. The answer: this North African country belonged to France for about 130 years until 1962. It is not Morocco. Not Morocco. Good guess, though. Good guess. Probably. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea if that's a good guess. I think it's a good guess because, honestly, it's a better guess than I could have ever come up with. It is not Libya. You got the last 2 letters correct. I'm not really supposed to be giving hints, but I don't think it is. Thanks for your lurk, Tsunami Gaming. Appreciate ya. Appreciate ya. And appreciate Love Thy Nerd for the for the raid. We're gonna give him a quick shout out, of course. Quick shout out. Go check them out. They're on a new stream schedule. A new stream schedule there, and so Mondays are Bubba's work with the CEO days. It is not Liberia. It is not Zambia. Oh my goodness. This is tense. This is tense. I'm going to put up a timer because I can't just allow these guesses to continue happening. We're going to give you guys another 2 minutes on the clock. So once we get down to 3 minutes, if we've not had our guess, we're going to be done for. I can't just let it keep going on forever and ever. My water's not in its usual spot. And having the new Mega Desk is something that's really... Let's see. I see India, Nambia. Neither one. Neither one. I didn't even know Nambia was a thing. Tiberia is not it. Oh my goodness, you guys are dancing around it. You're dancing around it. It's anybody's game. It's anybody's game. Truthfully, anyone could get this at this point. These 1K points are on the table. There's so many Ias. So many Ias. Now we've thought of all of the Ias. What's up, Wish? Oceania. That's the one. It's not. It's not, but I love that one. How we doing, Bleach? Welcome in. We're just trying to come up with all of the North African countries that end in IA. Trying to find which one is the answer to our Jeopardy question. This North African country belonged to France for about 130 years until 1962. 23 months, Bleach, that's almost 2 years. Tanzania is not it. Tunisia is not it. Sneaky pigs! It was finally said. Sneaky, it is Algeria. Congratulations. Wow. Wow. I mean, I never thought we were going to get it. That was tense. With 20 seconds left on the clock. Sneaky pigs with another 1K points. Congratulations. First try, folks. First try. All right, our next one is a double Jeopardy, and our last one is a double Jeopardy. This is worth 800 because it's double Jeopardy. It's originally worth 400. The category is Supreme Court cases. Supreme Court cases for 800. Answer: 1964. A little matter of the First Amendment. This newspaper v. Sullivan. This newspaper v. Sullivan for 800 points. Easy, says Bleach. Take it. Or are you saying easy for Algeria? Got it. Got your hydrate here. I'm not doing very good today. You guys can see I'm only at 10 a.m. and it's 1 p.m. here. It is not Washington Post. I'm going to put a timer up. Keep us honest. Same thing. The Times. What Times? Whose Times? Whomst Times? I gotta give it to Sneaky. Sneaky said the New York Times. I know that's probably what you meant, Zando. But there are other times. There are so many times. I don't have a lot of rules here, you know? I don't have a lot of rules. So I feel like we gotta hold ourselves honest somewhere. And Zando is the only person that has points to lose at this point. All right, chat's in the clap. Chat's in the clap. The leaderboard is now all of the times. The leaderboard. Let's see if anybody's on the second page. No, just the first page. All right, the leaderboard as it stands, top 3 are Zando leading the pack with 10K 800 on the board. In second, we have Sneaky Pigs with 6,400. And then in third place, we have maybe 30 bats with an even 4K. All right, there we go. That is our Jeopardy. Let's see, we've done Jeopardy. We've done movie game. I think it's time for TWIG. I think we got to talk about TWIG. We got to do the TWIG stuff. So I got to go pull up the thing. Because I didn't download the thing because I'm not that way. Let me find my video source here. Media source. Okay. Find it. Find it. Okay. I'm going to pause Spoofy. We're going to get right into TWIG. Here we go. Boom! All right. Yeah, it just went away. Okay, cool. I was pretty sure it was just going to go away, and it sure enough did. All right, let's turn Spoofy back on, get some more music in the background. Welcome to The Week in Geek. This is our weekly geekly news show where we talk about all the things going on. Huge shout out to H-Man or B-Surfer, depending on where you know him, for that intro and the cool stuff that we put into this content. The Week in Geek goes up over on our YouTube channel the day after, so it'll be up tomorrow talking about this stuff. So if you have to hop off for any reason, the whole thing will be posted there. If you don't want to go find it in the VOD and figure out where all this stuff was. If you're unfamiliar with what this looks like, we just go through some of the trending headlines, some cool things going on in Geek, and then we also have a little fun segment where we look back in history on what happened today in history in Geek News. This is fully interactive, so respond in the Twitch chat. It'll come up on the screen, and YouTube people will be able to see it whenever it gets posted later. So feel free to interact and engage, and let me know your thoughts as we go through these. It's just me today, so it's going to be probably a quick one. Normally, I would like to have like a level 2 person or two hop on and chat with us as well, but today it is just me. So we got a solo, just me, just doing my best here. Presenting the news as it comes out and as I see our angle of it. For those of you that are unfamiliar, we are Checkpoint Church, a church for nerds, geeks, and gamers. So we're going to view this within the perspective of our general rules that we borrow from a church father named John Wesley. To do good, to do no harm, and to strive to grow. So whenever we look at these news articles, we're going to keep that perspective in mind of what can we do with this information to do good, do no harm, and strive to grow together. So with that, we're going to start off with our welcome, what did you play or watch or read this weekend? So every Friday we ask the question of what do you plan to watch, play, or read? Now I want to know, what did you actually do? What did you do this weekend? Did you get any games in? Did you get to watch The Last of Us? I still haven't, so no spoilers. What did you read? Any of that kind of stuff? Let me know in the chat what those might have been for you. For me, I did go see Ant-Man Quantumania. I'm not going to talk about it because it's still very fresh. And so the spoilers are almost guaranteed right now. So I'm going to not spoil anything. I will give you my spoiler-free score. I think I gave it a 7 out of 10. So there you go. Watched some XFL yesterday. It was Pog. Very cool. I caught up on One Punch Man over on Viz Media app. And really, I just continue to perpetually enjoy One Punch Man. It is the antithesis to me of Chainsaw Man. Because Chainsaw Man started out so good and then has gotten so boring. One Punch Man continues to escalate and scale itself, but I can't look away. It takes itself so not seriously that I'm able to enjoy it still, whereas Chainsaw Man takes itself way too seriously. So I would love to, I'm still reading it. I'm still in it, but I just can't. I don't like it. Same, honestly, this is going to be more of a hot take than Chainsaw Man. Same with My Hero Academia. Really sorry about the folks that are still watching the anime because I'm way ahead of you in the manga. And hoo boy, it just keeps going. And I'm somebody that's read One Piece, dude. Somebody that's read One Piece, and I think My Hero is maybe going on a little too long. So, ay. All right. Now to dig myself out of the ditch here. I finished Fire Emblem Engage. It's officially done. 56 hours in the book. Not going back to it again probably. It was a good experience, but an experience that I really only need once. Very good gameplay. It probably is super replayable, but anytime I play a Fire Emblem game, I play them like once. I don't play them often again. I don't play them multiple times. Good game, 7 out of 10. Pretty good. You'll see a full review will be dropping this week through the To The Point newsletter, so keep an eye and ear out for that as we get that information out to you guys. And I just started, so I RNG my games. I go on my backlog and I RNG what's next. And my next game that I have RNG'd is going to be, is Detroit Become Human. I've never played that game before. I know enough about it, but definitely not the whole story. And I'm 6 hours in, and I love it. I love it. I've always heard very mixed things about David Cage, and so I was very anxious about getting into one of his games. But I also think they're kind of my steez, to be quite honest. So far, really enjoying it. It kind of feels like Cyberpunk without all the action. It's like Cyberpunk meets Simon Says. I've not put that into words, but I think that's a really fair depiction. If you enjoyed Cyberpunk, but maybe you would like to play it with a Simon Says machine, may I recommend Detroit Become Human to you, because that's what it is. All right, let's see what else we're doing in the chat here. I know I saw some Quantum Manias, Time Spinner, Ant-Man. Sneaky says played more Hogwarts Legacy. Let's see, Darksiders 3, replaying Witcher 3, Genshin Impact, FF14. Stan got too many games. How do you keep your eyes in one direction? How are you not like looking all over at all the different things that are going on? You need to grow a third eye, my friend. I watched Blade Runner 2049 with my brother who's never seen it. Very good. Very, very good. Love it. The Goss. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds like we got some good stuff going on here. And I love to hear. Continue typing in the chat. But we're going to move on to some of the trading headlines, so feel free to weigh in as we hear things that are coming out. First off, big news is the PSVR 2 is happening. It is a reality. It's coming out, I think, tomorrow. And reviews so far are big thumbs up. Everybody loves it. They're really enjoying it. They're liking what it brings to the table. I'm personally impressed with the suite of games that are coming with it on day one. I think that's pretty impressive to actually have like a real slate. Maybe it's just my Nintendo fanboy in me coming out, but like I'm pretty used to not having a good slate whenever a thing launches. And so Sony is doing it right. And they really didn't do it right with the PS5, if I'm being so totally honest. So this is a good example of how to actually do an opening slate and to have things that are actually coming out for it. From what I understand, it iterates upon everything that it needed to from the PSVR, including the controllers. I think the controls are probably the most impressive thing, according to reviews. Again, I don't have a hands-on experience with it yet. So everybody seems to enjoy it. I'm excited for it. I still think we're in a weird world where it's only going to be used by gamers. Because of the cord. I really think that that's what Oculus does that nobody else seems to really get, is that the cordless approach to a like single unit console is what is going to make or break your actual like VR commercialization. So I think this is gamers VR, and I think it's going to do great. I hope that they make enough. I think that they're probably not going to make as many as we hope they are. So we'll see. Plus eye tracking, and I think the OLED screen is the best feature. Yep, I've heard the OLED is very nice, and especially, again, in comparison to the last one. So a lot of the iterative stuff keeps doing better, keeps improving upon itself, and that's what we like to see. Things that improve upon themselves is just fine with me. I was kind of hoping maybe it would come with a DVD slot, because that was my experience with PS2. So PS1 to PS2, DVD slot. I was hoping that would be with it. Maybe a Slim, maybe a PSVR 2 Slim was what I was hoping for, or a bright yellow memory card or something like that. That was what I was really wanting. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm excited to see what it does. Needs a little orange ball. Yep, just a little orange ball. And all the different stuff. I assume that whenever you start a new console in the same series, same company, that you just continue the iterative process. So this really needs to look like the PS2, and that's my biggest disappointment. Is I wish it was just an angular black box on your face. That would be really nice. Next news story is one that does not shock me at all, and I really don't know why it got as big as it did. Xbox, as you know, is in a pretty nasty, or Microsoft really, is in a pretty nasty lawsuit right now with Sony over what to do. Not really a lawsuit, I guess, more of a litigative process of whether or not to obtain certain other game developers that they're trying to purchase those companies, and Sony is not having it. They're not happy about it, and so Xbox is kind of doing everything they can to make sure that people know that they are not sitting as pretty as we know they are, and so they decided to publish a little piece that said Game Pass is actually not good for game sales. Now, this, again, shouldn't be a light-on moment for you. If you don't know that Game Pass is not good for game sales, I don't think you really understand what a subscription model is, but that's just kind of the reality of the beast. That's the thing. And Xbox knows that, Microsoft knows that, and they're not embarrassed by it or shy about it. They're purely using this as a litigation tactic to get the flares in the air to make sure that people know, hey, it's not a big deal if we are the only people that have Call of Duty. Calm down, Sony. It's all going to be fine. So this is purely legal. I don't think this is important information for us at all. If anything, as our do good, do no harm, strive to go, we should try and see this as like the legal practice that it is, and realize that we're not doing game devs wrong by encouraging the use of Game Pass. They're getting treated just fine. If anybody is coming up short, it's Microsoft, but that is a calculated risk that they are choosing to make, that they know they're making, and that they're making hand over fist anyway. So we should not feel bad about using Game Pass. You should not feel bad about playing games on there. If you like a game enough and you want to support the dev further than what Game Pass allows, then you should absolutely go and buy that game separately. And that would be a great way to encourage further developer profit, but I don't think you should be too concerned about that. So I think Game Pass is doing just fine, and don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Speaking of games, in D&D is a spell that increases agility. A can't trip? Oh no! Just some guy Tennessee coming in with a dad joke. It's not even dad joke time! It's not even dad joke time! Look. It's not even in here! It's not even in here! You need to write your own D and dad jokes. D and dad jokes needs to be a book. D and dad jokes. Make it happen. Make it happen. Okay. Next headline is that Dead Island 2 is coming out a week early, which is hilarious because it was supposed to come out 8 years ago. So we'll take what we can get. I think it's interesting enough that it's coming out a week early. They claimed on their socials that it was because it went gold. It's going to be a fine game. It's going to be okay. It's going to be the most game you've ever played. And I don't think it's going to blow any minds. I don't think it's going to change anything. It's just going to be a game. I don't think it's going to be as good as Dead Island 1. Personally, I don't think Dead Island 1 was that good. I think it had its cult following. But like we're seeing with Left 4 Dead and their continued iterations, they're just not able to capture that magic of the LAN party. They're not able to capture that magic of the living room multiplayer. And that's a bummer, but it just kind of is what it is. So enjoy your Dead Island 2 experience on April 21st instead of April 28th. I know you're going to play it a whole lot during that week, and definitely more than you would have if it had come out on the 28th. The next big exciting piece of news is also a big shame and a strange conundrum that I'm not quite sure I can wrap my mind around personally. And that is that Metroid Prime Remastered, first off, is a hit, is doing fantastic, is proving that maybe we're closer to Metroid Prime 4 than we think we are. But they also made a weird decision to cut all of the credited names from the Wii and GameCube versions, and instead they simply thanked them with a single panel on the credits that said the idea and the story of this game were inspired by or originally written by the original GameCube and Wii version's development staff. That's how it credited that entire team that worked on the original Wii and GameCube games. So that's a bummer. That's a big bummer. And if you'll think back, you'll also remember that this happened on Metroid Dread, where there was a weird, it changed hands so many times that there were certain people that worked on the game that it didn't get the proper crediting that it needed to whenever it came out. I don't know what it is with Metroid games in particular and why people are not able to adequately figure out the crediting process. I've never heard of anything ever really having difficulty with crediting. And certainly not with Nintendo. If anything, you would think Nintendo would be like uber professional because they take themselves so very seriously as businessmen. You would think that for sure things would be fine. But apparently not. Apparently there is some kind of issue whenever it comes to Metroid in particular, and they are just incapable of crediting. So if you've not seen, there are certainly avenues out there. There are people tweeting about it that worked on the original team. Support them, encourage them. I would say that is an act of doing good and ensuring that no harm is being done to those that originally worked on these kind of games. We shouldn't steal each other's ideas, and we certainly shouldn't, at the very least, lift up other creators for their creative endeavors and the contributions that they made towards things. So I don't know what the deal with is that. I really don't. I think it's just because it changes hands so many times. There aren't many franchises that Nintendo does that with. And so maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just because Metroid just can't stay in one house. And so they have some weird mishmash back and forth and it's just not working. Okay, there's been an excellent trailer out there. This isn't really news, but if you haven't seen the Tetris trailer for the Apple TV documentary biopic on Tetris, you got to watch it. I have no idea how they're going to make Tetris as dramatic as they're making it look in the trailer, but hoo boy, they sure are. I mean, it's looking like space race, Sputnik style, Russian propaganda excitement. I mean, it looks like it's just going to be a riveting, rip-roaring time in Tetris history, which I certainly did not know. I don't know if you knew Tetris history. I was not alive during the time, and apparently it's just a big deal. It's just a real big deal. It's a real big story. I've read a lot of books about gaming, and I tell you, one of the things that's never come up is this story in particular. So I don't know who broke this and who decided to make it about this or what book they're basing this off of, but I would like to read the book because I always find that to be the most interesting way to experience these biopics is to look back and to watch the inspired books that typically lead to them. Another one is Susan Wojcicki has stepped down from YouTube. I know we have mixed feelings on that in our particular Discord. A lot of people are not Susan fans. I have no problem with Susan Wojcicki. The person who took over, I'm trying to remember their name. The person who took over is exactly the same. I mean, just kind of a shoe-in, somebody that they totally expected to take over the place of Susan. Nothing's going to change. Nothing at all. It's going to be exactly the same. YouTube and Google and Alphabet Company are so totally professional. I mean, they're fine. They're going to do just fine. They consult more with their lawyers than they do with their marketing team, and they're going to care way more about checking the boxes and doing the work that needs to get done, rather than doing too much of the creative processing. I think that's why I'm more excited by Broken. No, it works so well though. That's why I think I have no problem with it, is because it's just exactly what it needs to be. Like TikTok is broken. TikTok is something that is so clearly mismanaged, whereas YouTube is just kind of chugging along. It is as like bureaucratic as it can be. It's like a bunch of red tape, which is hilarious because their color, of course, their branding color is red. So that's very appropriate. But again, if anything, if you want to accuse Alphabet Company of anything, it is lack of innovation, because they do too much, too little. They try not hard enough or temporarily enough. They don't go far enough in the innovative scene. But that's corporate. So yeah, troublesome stuff, being that we're so tied to these companies. I'm not particularly tied to any in particular big brand, but as Christians, do good, do no harm. What should we consider doing in the face of this? There's really nothing to change. Support the companies that you feel comfortable supporting. Odds are, whatever company you're supporting, you should not support 100%. You should probably never be on board 100% with any corporation. Hold them within arm's reach and do the best that you can for all the people you can by utilizing them as tools so that you might be able to get your message of hope, peace, and love out there without having to meet in the middle with any of your expectations or your theological no-no zones, your places that you're not willing to go past. That would be the best way to utilize YouTube, to utilize Twitch, to utilize any of these, is to ask yourself, hey, what are my absolute standards? How am I going to do that? And what am I just going to be aware of that I'm not going to have power within these platforms because of that? And that's it. That's pretty much it. So there you go. That is the Susan Wojcicki news. Also, you should check out the Super Mario Brothers movie website that they just came out with, the trailer that launched on Super Bowl Sunday, I think. They put out a great little Super Mario rap. And then you should also check out their runtime, because I, for one, as someone who has a 3-year-old who will be 4 at the time, I am very excited to see a 92-minute runtime, because holy moly, I cannot take a 4-year-old to go see a 2-hour Marvel movie. I need shorter movies. Desperately. I don't need inflated movies that are just stuffing in jokes. I need a 90-minute runtime, short, easy, run-of-the-mill, make 1 million of them. I don't care how many Super Mario movies we make. I would love to see us have a whole franchise of these. Let's have the Minions experience, right? Let's have the Rise of Gru experience where it feels like there's a new Minions movie every year. Let's do it. Just please Don't make me watch a 2-hour movie with a 4-year-old. That's too much. There's not a popcorn bucket big enough. The Mario Cinematic Universe. The MC Yahoo! That's a good one. That's a good one. I like it a lot. I'm gonna have to. That's my dad joke contribution of the day. Okay, so those are all of our trending headlines, folks. Those are what I saw in the news. But if you would like to let me know what you saw in the news next week, then be sure to submit your news to us. Where can you do that, you ask? I will tell you. bit.ly/DearTwig. bit.ly/DEARTWIG. bit.ly/DearTwig, as in a letter deer, not as in the animal deer. Honestly, I need to just set up 2 bit.ly links so that either one that you do, it goes to the same form. But it's bit.ly/DearTwig, or I think you can actually just do !twig and it'll bring up the new submission here if you're in Twitch chat and you see something that you want to share with us. We don't have any of those submitted this week, but I would love to see those in future weeks and to discuss things that our Discord community wants to chat about, the news that you find important, so that we can talk about those as well. So let us know next week if you have any that you would like to include in our To The Discord section. With that, let's get into our game of the day, which is... Oh, hang on, I need to go. Wait.
At this point in nerd history!
Hopefully that came through and I didn't sound like a moron. Or maybe I did sound like a moron and that was the point. We're going to talk about at this point in nerd history, the things that have gone on in history. Not too many today. Not too many. There were a couple good ones that were at least somewhat interesting. Back in 2019, on February 20th of 2019, the kind of critical flop of the Metal Gear game without Kojima, Metal Gear Survive, dropped in 2019 on this day. Another critical flop is Sonic and the Secret Rings, the follow-up to the 3D Sonic franchise after Sonic 06, which was already pretty bad. Secret Rings was not as bad as 06, but it did also kind of flop back in 2007. Also on this day in 2007, an important game to me and to any of my other Flash gamers out there, The Impossible Quiz dropped today in 2007, which is pretty crazy. I guess it must be the final version, because I definitely remember playing it before that. But if you remember The Impossible Quiz, it was a series of ridiculous and absurdist questions through yep, exactly. Select the biggest one of ridiculous questions that were kind of puns, kind of play on words, but all in all, just a good time. If you've never done the Impossible Quiz, go back and do it. And then in February 20th, 1987, in Japan, the Contra arcade cabinet launched today. The Contra arcade cabinet launched today in Japan, 1987. That was the first time it showed up in arcades. So there you go. That is your game history. And then just one I threw in for fun because I thought this was kind of interesting. The very first Batman and Robin comic strip appeared in newspapers today in 1944. 1944. The first ever Batman and Robin comic strip, in particular, hit newspapers today. So that's pretty crazy. Fun news, fun stuff coming up there, fun and exciting historical stuff going on. With that, we're going to move into our second to last segment, I guess, of the upcoming releases for the week. So what's coming out this week in Geek? What should you have your eye on that'll actually be hitting the airwaves in some way, shape, or form? It's actually a pretty big week for games. We're going to be going through a whole lot of them. But first, movies. Cocaine Bear does hit the airwaves on the 24th, that I think is hilarious that I even have to say that. Apparently, maybe 30 Bats knows the Cocaine Bear, has seen the Cocaine Bear taxidermied in Kentucky somewhere, which is very funny. So that's one to check out there. We Have a Ghost, also the latest David Harbour film. I have no idea much about that, but We Have a Ghost is hitting the airwaves. So there you go. Now you know those. Some games that are coming out. It is PSVR 2 week, so as I mentioned, they have a pretty huge slate. Just some of the games that I found interesting. If you're familiar with the ever popular mobile game Cities, Cities is coming out with a Cities VR on the 22nd. Horizon Call of the Mountain, of course, on the 22nd as well. PSVR on the 22nd. Kerbal Space Program 2 is hitting on the 24th. As Buish did mention, yes, Like a Dragon Ishin is indeed hitting on the 21st. Thank you for the follow, Naito FYI. Appreciate you. Atomic Heart hits tomorrow. People are already talking about that, raving a good bit. The next Digimon World game hits the airwaves on the 22nd. Digimon World Next Order, probably be okay. I have a feeling it'll be just fine. Probably an 8 out of 10 game if I had to make a prediction right here and now. I already mentioned Kerbal Space Program 2 was launching on the 24th, which is, if you like Kerbals, gonna be happening, and hopefully it is just as wacky as the last one. Kirby's Return to Dreamland is hitting the Switch on the 24th, a remastered version of Return to Dreamland. Octopath Traveler 2 is also hitting the Switch on the 24th. And then Destiny 2 Lightfall, the latest iteration of Destiny 2, the latest expansion pack to hit the airwaves, is going to be there on the 26th, officially launching this week. So those are the games and movies we have coming out. It looks like En Wolong Fallen Dynasty early access drops on the 23rd. So if you have already bought that, I assume is what it requires to get early access. So now you know, if you wanted to play that game, I think it's coming to Game Pass. Am I wrong about that? That might be one game that's coming to Game Pass whenever it drops officially. So I wonder if they're going to do an early access on Game Pass. We'll see. But with that, we are going to do our Meme of the Week. Our final thing before we wrap up the show today is going to be our Meme of the Week. Let me find my image capture here. Badoop, badoop. Well, I know I've seen one of them. I'm pretty sure it was that one that's coming to Game Pass. This is from our memes and goofs section of our Discord. I always pick the one that has the most likes that is also at least somewhat appropriate. This one might be the most risque we'll put on here. But it was Valentine's Day this past week, and so our most popular meme of the week was posted by our very own, who also designed the intro to our TWIG segment today. H-Man for Valentine's Day, reminding you to leave room for the Holy Spirit this Valentine's Day. There you go, leaving room for the Holy Spirit when you dance. When in doubt, stay at least one Bible length away and insert the Holy Spirit there with Christian rock, of course, in the background. If you're dancing to anything other than casting crowns, are you even really dancing? That's the question. So there we go. Happy Valentine's Day. I hope that you did all have a very fun, happy Valentine's Day. My Valentine's Day was bizarre as I was at a decon meeting talking to pastors about their futures of ministry. So a different kind of Valentine's Day for me. I was surprised they put such a thing on Valentine's Day, because anybody that we would have had to say no to, can you imagine being told no to your vocation and then having to go home and be like, Happy Valentine's Day? We talk about a real mix of emotions, but they do what they got to do, and I am not on that end of the bureaucracy. So with that, we're going to end this TWIG segment with our 3 things that we believe to be true about everything. We're going to end this TWIG segment with our 3 things that we believe to be true about every single one of you out there. But first, I'm going to tell my chat here on Twitch to say hello to YouTube, because we are going over to YouTube to wrap up this closing segment here. As always, if you want to send more news our way, bit.ly/DearTwig to send news articles our way. And hopefully we'll have a level 2 member join us next week. But if not, we'll be back for Solo Swallow with Nerd Pastor Nate from our TWIG segment here. But from those of us here at Checkpoint Church, with the 3 things to be true about every single one of you out there, regardless of whether or not you believe in God, don't believe in God, go to church, don't go to church, any of those things, we still believe these 3 things to be true about every single one of you out there. Number 1, that God loves you, like really, really loves you. Number 2, we love you. We want community with you. That's what we're doing here. And then number 3, that you, yes, you, no matter who you are, you matter. You are a person of sacred worth. The world is a better place. Why? Because you are in it. Folks, with that, and until the next time that we see you, thanks for being here. Be sure to click that sub or like button if you watched this far, because odds are you did like it at least a little bit. And let us know that you want to see more of these kind of nerdy news segments. With that, until the next time that I see you, bye-bye! Welcome back to Twitch. How we doing? Okay. I hope that you guys like TWIG. I hope that you're enjoying it. I'm having a lot of fun putting it together. I think it's an interesting enough segment. We got plenty of stuff to talk about. Nerdy news is never going to stop coming. And I hope that you guys are enjoying your experience there. Love it, Buish. I love to hear it. We did have a new article come out today over on To The Point newsletter. If you're not subscribed to the newsletter, you should be, because it's great. And I think !TTP will take you to a sign up there. I could be wrong, but I think so. And if not, then I need to put that together. Because today we had one of our own Duck Makes Things, wrote an article on Roleplay the Gospel. Yes, I love it when a plan works out. Thank you, Buish. Roleplay the Gospel is a upcoming Lenten tabletop role-playing game, creative writing experience for the time of Lent. Lent is the season leading up to Easter, in which we typically see people give up things. You might give up soda or give up candy for 40 days, and then you take your day off on Sunday where you celebrate, and then you get back into it the next week, so on and so forth for 40 days until Easter, in which point you have hopefully taken that time that you've gained back from your sacrifice to experience more oneness, more atonement, more experiential moments with Christ, whether it be prayer, or whether it just be silence, or whatever it may be. And so in order to make that even better and more attuned to nerds, our own H-Man or B-Surfer put together a wonderful thing called Roleplay the Gospel in accompaniment with the Virginia Annual Conference of the United Methodist Church, which I just think is super neat. So if you want to download that, it is vaumc.org/rptheg, rptheg. And we'd love to see more people download that, join the Facebook group, post your pictures, all that sort of stuff. That is not through Checkpoint. That's just shouting them out because I think it's super cool. And of course, some of our Checkpoint people were very much intimately connected to working on it. So we want to shout them out and highlight that. Okay. We're going to do Manga Spice Cafe here in just a couple minutes, but we're actually pretty close to our hour break. So I might just chat with you guys just for a little bit, and then we'll take a break at 2 o'clock, and then we will... we'll hop back on. We'll do our Manga Spice Cafe. We'll get into Pokemon White. We'll take another break, and then we'll wrap it up for the final hour there. We're trying to do really healthy streamer practices. That's something that's going to be important to us. Who has the day off today? I would love to know. I know that Splash was here earlier, which is pretty crazy. I also do not have the day off, which I didn't even think about it. My wife is on a work day, and so she at least is working. She takes pretty much all of her work days because if you didn't know, teachers' work days are really in quotes. Because they're work days. They're like, they really don't get to ever take those days off. They technically can, but it's like you don't build up time fast enough to even make it worth taking a work day off. So typically she just goes in. So she went in today, so I didn't feel guilty about not taking the day off. But we used to get President's Day, but they swapped it for Juneteenth a few years ago. A wonderful swap. I think that is of all of the swaps they could have made. I think that is a reasonable and amicable and reconcilable one. I can reason with that. I can get down with that one. Although, in the words of Old El Paso, ¿por qué no los dos? I like it. I'd rather have the time off near or after annual conference. Yeah, I know some pastors that just take off the entire week after annual conference. I know pastors that take off the entire week after annual conference, after Easter, and after Christmas. And those are their like 3 weeks off a year, which, hey, hot take here. Hot take. Hang on, let me bring in. I've not brought this one in a long time. Hot take alert. Take off more than that. If you're a pastor, that's not really time off. That's time for like healing. That's not time off. That's time recuperating. And there's a difference. Take off more time than that. Whoa! Whoa! Twig is back! I just wanted to make a point. Okay. We're going to go ahead and turn that off. We're going to make sure that doesn't open every single time that I change back to chat. Do not restart playback. Boom jams. Right now we got it. But yes, take off more time than just after Christmas and Easter and annual conference and whatever your conference may be. Because that's just time recovering. It takes a week to recover and then a week to relax. That was always the word on the street from the Clergy Health Initiative. So take that time. It's hard for me, especially because a lot of my time is playing video games. And that is my relaxation time. And so I feel like I have to negotiate with myself, like, when am I playing video games for work and when am I playing video games for personal stuff? The way that I've done that is by playing old games. It's really funny, but like I feel like that is my way. Like playing Detroit Become Human, like I'm not going to talk about Detroit Become Human. And so I'm not worried about writing a sermon on it or anything like that. Like Ant-Man, that was work. Seeing Ant-Man was like, I know I've got to write another sermon on this. And that's such a weird experience. And that's not to say that it's daunting, but it is work. It is a mental shift. And that's strange. Do not envy me. I mean, there are things to envy, but there is work. At the end of the day, work is work. Work is work. Find a job you love and you'll still work. Don't believe them. Don't believe them when they say you'll never work a day in your life. You will work. You can love your work, but you're still going to work. Work is work. Got to do it. If I could solve all my problems with a way too dank mic, I'd be happy, right? Way too dank.
Do you mean this? Are you talking about this? Talking about way too dank right here? Little cheese man exploding?
It's a button push away. It's a button push away. I still have seen no advertisements. I don't know what's going on with our ads. Either everyone that's watching us right now is subbed and they just didn't run ads, or it's broken. I don't get it. I don't get it. This is what it should look like. I'm gonna do a test on Stream Elements here. I'll show you what it should look like. I really am trying to do it for the viewers' benefit here, because I want to take away pre-rolls. Okay, this is what it should look like. Okay. Did you see it? It's got the little yellow add button here. And then it does a purple countdown across the top. I've not seen that. Maybe I've just missed it. But whenever people are in ads, that should show up. And I have not seen it. Nary a single time. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know. I don't know if anybody heard whenever they hopped in here. I now have a standing desk, and I'm very excited about that. I have turbo, so I can't see them. Yeah, and that's the thing is, nobody's really gonna. You guys will see them. You will see it because you won't have ads. People that have ads will see the ads. People that don't have ads will see that little thing come up so that we can know when the people that are in ads will be back with us. The idea behind it is so that I can know when people are watching ads, so that if we're playing a game that has some kind of important meaning and people are into it, I can know. I can know, like, hey, maybe pause for a second and shoot the breeze rather than worry about playing the game. But so far it hasn't happened. I keep looking, and I'm trying not to look too much. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I've just missed it. I need to go back and watch the VOD, see if it popped up. But I sure haven't seen it. It hasn't caught my eye yet. BRB. See ya, Buish. We'll take our break here in just another couple minutes. For those of you that aren't familiar with what we're doing now, we're trying to do a good streaming practice. I think streamers don't take enough breaks. I think they don't go stretch their legs. I think they don't do enough for themselves. At the very least, I think for myself, I'm not doing it enough. And so I'm going to try to embody that practice. Every hour, we're going to take a 3-minute stretch break. I'm going to encourage people to go and to drink a sip of water, to go and stretch their legs, to go and just breathe some good old outside air, to touch grass, as they might say in Elden Ring. Go outside and touch some grass. Yeah. Every hour, we're going to go touch grass together. Oh, man. Probably can't say that. Don't show this one to the bishop. This is another one not to send to the bishop. But yeah, so that's going to be the plan every hour. We're going to try to do that to embody a little good healthy streamer practice. And just to get us out of our own head for just a minute. So that's going to be the game plan. That's going to be our intention here in this space. An intentional practice. We're going to move that practice into a praxis, if you may. I'm hoping that it will not only be something that we do here, but that it'll be something that if you are a streamer, you will consider doing it as well on your channel, because it's important. It's important to take care of your body. It's important to take care of who you are and of what you're doing. So we're going to do that as best as we can. And whenever I get back, hopefully I'm going to have Tiki Tac working as well. We're going to try and stream Manga Spice Cafe on TikTok, because I really want my TikTok stream key. And my understanding is that if you want your stream key, you need to stream on TikTok a little bit. So we're going to try. We're going to try and stream a little bit. We're going to stream my Manga Spice Cafe unboxing, and that'll be about the end of it. Now, the danger here is that I don't have any moderators over on TikTok. So, just be aware. Just be aware of that. I'm probably not going to read it too much. I'm going to kind of just let it go. And then it's going to be a quick stream. It'll be 15, 20 minutes. So it's really not going to be anything too intense. Hopefully. Knock on wood. I really need to get some Guardians set up over there, and we can turn it into a space where people are able to moderate when they're able. But that's going to be the game plan. I think we're close enough to take our break. So we're going to take a quick little 3-minute break. 3 minutes on the clock. We will not be gone long. What I'm going to encourage you to do during this time, like I said, stretch your legs, get some water, take a quick minute to yourself, and we'll be back here in just a couple minutes. So whenever we do this, I'm going to encourage people to hit !break time. One person only. Hopefully. I should probably limit it. I should probably limit it to one person within a certain amount of time. Oh boy. Might need to go back and do that one. Have a cooldown on this bad boy. But here we go. Here's our break time. Enjoy, folks. I just want to be done. Cracking noises until you end the strike. Do you guys like the cracking noise? How does it sound over the fancy microphone? That used to be how I would do the Predator. But I don't know how it sounds over the microphone. And I used to tell people that I could pop my neck like that. This is really happening at long last. I'm fed up. I can't do it anymore. Spectrum has pushed me too far. You've done too much this time, Spectrum. And you were here for it. The folks that are in the chat right now, you were here for this monumental moment where I finally am broken like the bat by Spectrum. I'm putting on my to-do list right now. Call Spectrum. All of you are here. All of you that are here right now in the chat, you're a part of this moment. You're going to get a badge that says you were a part of this moment of Checkpoint Church history. I'm not even kidding. Do it, please. Make it happen. If you know how to do it. If not, I can look into how to do it. But this is a moment. I'm calling Spectrum. I don't know what it's going to take. I don't know what the difference is going to be, but we're getting a new modem. At the very least, we're getting a new modem and a new router. And this is just absurd. My corner of the internet, and you can't have it, exterminates anyone looking in her direction. Absolutely, Trombone. Only a Dalek could do that. Oh, this is an example of what not to do. Don't be a Dalek. Be a Trombone Dalek in particular. Trombone Daleks, as you know, are notoriously generous. You are allowed to lament. If you've never heard a pastor say that before, let me assure you, you are allowed to lament. You are allowed to doubt. You are allowed to be hurt. You're allowed to be angry. But at the end of the day, whatever your prayer looks like, whether it's an angry prayer, a happy prayer, or whatever it may be, I hope that it gets to the action of entering into a relationship with Jesus Christ and with the body of Christ that is the church. That's what we're about. Oh, I thought it was three. I thought it was 3 hits. I thought it was 3 hits and then he was done. I thought it was 3 hits. I thought it was 3 hits. And that has been page 54 of the Mirror Mural, presented for your listening pleasure without context. You finally got to see the mural! Wow! What a huge moment, you guys. We have been here. We've been reading from this book for nearly 2 years. All right, I hope you all enjoyed your little break there. Hope you're feeling rested and rejuvenated. Hope you took some time to yourself to unwind. Touch some grass, as they say. Welcome, welcome. Thank you, Humar Whitcam. What's up? Lurking and working. Hope your day is going well. My day is going great. I hated to miss your Fire Emblem stream this morning. I've enjoyed Cameron plus Deanna's Fire Emblem Engage stream. It's been very fun to watch, especially because we've been like neck and neck with each other because we both are on a similar like play schedule. I think Cam has been playing slowly because of stream. I've been playing slowly because of 2 kids. And so it works out well. We're neck and neck with each other. But I did, because the kids were sick so much, I was able to play a couple games. And so I got ahead and finished just a little bit before him. Okay, we're going to try this Manga Spice Cafe unboxing. And we're going to try it on TikTok. So I'm about to hit the go live button on TikTok for the first time ever. And I have no idea what's going to happen. So just be completely forewarned that I don't know what I'm doing. Okay? We feel kosher about that. I don't know what I'm doing. And if I start seeing a bunch of like racy comments, I'm just going to stop the live and we're just going to finish it up here. But I'm gonna press a button. I don't know why it's trying to reach other Bluetooth sources. Okay. All right, we're live. We're live. I don't know what that means. I've never been live on TikTok. I'm live on Twitch, and I'm often live here on Twitch. But I'm also live here on TikTok today, just for a quick second, unboxing the Manga Spice Cafe. If you've never seen the Manga Spice Cafe subscription box, I feel like I'm on a daytime PBS show because I'm like, which camera do I look at? Can I have somebody like this camera? This camera's live. I need a little red light to let me know which one is live, except it's both of you. So Manga Spice Cafe is a monthly manga subscription box that hits your mailbox once a month and brings 3 different manga. Typically you get the first volume of some new manga. Sometimes it'll be recurring or sequel manga, things like that. And then they also give you a bunch of fun snacks. So we're gonna be going through, finding out what manga did I get and what am I going to be doing, what am I gonna be eating today? What kind of weird treats I'm gonna be having through here and what are gonna be the ones. So this is the January Manga Spice Cafe. We're gonna find out what's inside. So let's just get right into it. By the way, welcome. If you're watching on TikTok, we're also streaming this over on Twitch in a much more higher quality feasibility. I'm hoping to eventually get the Steam key or Stream key or whatever it's called, so that I can have this feed going over here, so you guys can have better quality. Because I guarantee you're probably not like hearing as good as it could be, whereas you guys are hearing it excellently. You're hearing fantastic. So. Manga Spice Cafe is kind of a play on maid cafes, so they always have a maid cafe girl that they give you in the booklet here. And it looks like this month's is fairy tales and fantasy. I'm gonna try not to spoil which ones they are. Penny-chan, maid in training at Manga Spice Cafe. Excited to be wearing my werewolf Halloween costume again for this month's box, which makes no sense for January. Fairy tales and fantasy. There's manga with monsters, vampires, shadowy people, and more, plus noodles, snacks, and a drink inside. Are you ready? Please enjoy. I'm already having fun. Okay, let's see what's inside. See what ones we got today. So it looks like we have a little Goemon, little corn treat here. We're gonna give that a try, see what's going on with that one. For those of you that are on Twitch, Bleach, especially since you said you're back, I'm trying TikTok. I'm trying TikTok over here, mainly because I want my stream key, and they won't give it to me. So hopefully they're going to give me my stream key, because now I'm showing them that I have an interest to go live, and I'd love to get to know you better. Okay, we got some chips here, pizza flavored pizza potato chips, melty cheese from Calbee there. Love it. Excited for it. All right, another little Goemon baked corn snack there. Very nice. We're here for it. Hero. Looks like some Oreo-esque chocolate flavored. I don't like chocolate flavored sandwich cookies. I'd much rather it be a chocolate, not a chocolate flavored. But we're here. Okay. All right. Next up on the list, we have Boba Milk Tea Mochi. Heyo. Boba Milk Mochi. Here for it. Brown sugar. I will not be trying the chow mein noodles today, but they did give me some chow mein noodles. Might try those at a future date here. Ooh, very nice. Got some Demon Slayer grape something. It's something. Hello. What's up, lovely Monica over there? And Bleach over here. Welcome, welcome. Puchow. Don't know what these are. Something with Demon Slayer, though, and that's pretty dope. And then our final savory treat here is a can, and they actually bubble wrapped it this time, which is different. I'm not used to the bubble wrap. But here we are. Sparkling tea, peach and orange. Sparkling peach and orange tea. We're here for it. New movie comes out on March 3rd. Is that a new Demon Slayer movie? Tell me more. Tell me more about this. I want to know more. I want to know more about Demon Slayer movie. I enjoyed Mugen Train. It was great. It was very great. Swordsmith Village. That's the name of the new Demon Slayer movie. Nice. Very cool. For those of you that don't do Manga Spice Cafe, you also get 10 points every week, or every month, excuse me. And so that would be a good way to get a free box. I think it's every 12. So every month, I don't know why they chose 10 points, they just did. So every single time you get 12 of those, you get one year, you get one free box of the month. Okay, let's see what we got here. The Hunter's Guild Red Hood. is the first manga on the box here. It is a volume 1 by Yuki Kawaguchi. The prompt says, in a world where fairy tales are fact and humans live in fear of werewolves, witches, and monsters, only the Hunters Guild can keep the monsters at bay. These red-hooded fighters are anything but little, and only those able to pay a king's ransom can afford their services. But it's a small price to stay alive. In an isolated hamlet lives a boy named Baloo who wants nothing more than to protect his beloved neighbors from the werewolf terrorizing the town. But even the town's mayor, its most skilled huntsman, is unable to handle the situation on his own anymore. In a desperate attempt to save his people, the mayor hires the Hunters Guild to exterminate the werewolf. But after the mayor bankrupts himself into affording the guild's services, Baloo and the citizens are disappointed when a little girl in a red hood named Grim, shows up instead of the big, strong hunter they were expecting. Baloo is skeptical of Grim's ability to handle the werewolf. Surely the mayor has been scammed, right? Will Baloo and the hamlet ever live happily ever after? I am on board. That's super cool. I'm here for it. This is super neat. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. Oh, sorry, lovely Monica. I was reading the prompt there, but yes. So Hunters Guild, Red Hood, Grimm's Fairy Tale. Very cool. Amogus 911 EXE, thanks for the bits. Appreciate ya. Appreciate the bits over here. All right, let's see. Ooh, from the creator of Chainsaw Man. All right, this is our next one, 1721. This is before Chainsaw Man. Okay, I do not speak Russian. I'm very sorry, username there. I do not speak Russian. So yes, Tatsuki Fujimoto. We were just talking about Chainsaw Man earlier. I'm interested to see what a former work looks like. Short prompt here, 1721. Alien invasions, high school romances, bloody vampire action, all this and more awaits in 4 compelling short stories that reveal the starting point of Tatsuki Fujimoto, the twisted mastermind behind Chainsaw Man. Dope. It's short stories too. That's even better. That's even better. That's super cool. So that's interesting. Very much looks like Chainsaw Man style. So you can see how the inspiration definitely stuck through. Weird and demented monsters. Here for it. Cool. All right, that's 2. And our third one of today is Shadow's House. This is our third and final one. Shadow's House. Shadow's House by Samato. In the depths of a murky mansion lives a group of enigmatic gnomels known as the Shadow Family. With no visible features to speak of, these mysterious aristocrats employ living dolls to act as their faces. Dope. Kate and Emilico are one such pair of mistress and servant, dwelling in their own little world and learning from each other bit by bit with every new day. But in a house of locked doors, living according to rules with no apparent source, how long can their blissfully peaceful existence truly last? Cool. There we go. Shadow's House. Love it. I'm here for it. And I even see now the shadow. I don't know. I didn't see that before. You see the like shadow version of the person. It almost reminds me like Umineko there. That's super cool. I'm here for it. Welcome in, Ronan. We're glad you're here. Welcome back. Yeah, I like all 3 of these. I think these are 3 that I've never heard anything about. I'm here for it. I think it's gonna be fun. Let's see. What I like to normally do is add up the price here. So this box typically costs about $35. And so let's see if we came out on top here. We got $9.99 from Viz, $9.99 from Viz. That's $20 so far, and then $13 for this one from Yen Press. So that's rounding us up to $33 there, and that's pretty good. $33 plus we get a bunch of snacks. So we really came out right at about even. If you count the snacks, we probably came out under. So we're doing good. Good stuff. Let's try some snacks. Let's see what we got in store for today. The way I like to go is I normally like to start with savory and then work my way into sweet because I am a sweets fan myself. And so try and start with the savory so that sometimes, I'm gonna be real for just a second. Sometimes the savory is real bad. So we're gonna try the savory, and if it's gross, then we'll be okay. We'll be all right. All right, we're gonna try first our pizza chips here. Let's see if we can figure out where they're from. China. So there we go. That's why I say they're not always Japanese snacks. They're just Eastern snacks, Asian snacks. All right, pizza chips. Looks just like Ruffles. Ruffles have ridges, right? Tastes just like it sounds. That's a pizza Pringle. That's a pizza Pringle right there. Pretty good. Pretty good, pizza Pringle. Okay. Let's try our next little Goemon guy. Little Goemon guy here. We're going to try this. Get a phone call. You would think it would turn off the ability to get phone calls whenever you're live or something. Nope. Okay. This looks like a sour cream and onion of some sort. Pretty standard little corn treat. I always get 2 of these no matter what I do. can't really pin that one down. It just kind of tastes like it's been covered in Italian seasoning. That one ain't it. That one ain't it. All right, let's try another corn snack here. Maybe this is a different flavor. We'll find out. Ooh, man, that was real rough. That one tastes like parsley. Okay, this one looks like Cheeto colored, Cheeto flavor. Yeah, that's a puff Cheeto. That's a puff Cheeto right there. Not bad. Not bad. We'll take it. We'll take it. All right, now to wash that down before our sweets, we're gonna go with a peach and orange sparkling tea. Peach and orange sparkling tea. Here we go. Whoo! That's really good. That tastes just like peach rings. Mm-hmm. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. That's good. That's good. As far as drinks go, sometimes the drinks are misses, and that one's a win. That one is a win. That is one I enjoyed. Why'd the music stop? Where'd Spoofy go? Spoofy, come back. Okay, Spoofy's back. Okay. Now let's do some sweet treats here. So we're gonna start off with our brown sugar boba milk tea mochi. Brown sugar boba milk tea mochi. I mean, it's not really much to look at. It looks just like a mochi blob here, just a little rice gunny. It tastes very familiar, but I can't place it. It reminds me of something. Like Captain Crunch. It reminds me of like a very specific brown sugar Captain Crunch. That's too much. That's too much flavor. Too much flavor. Just hit me in the face with flavor. Not a fan. Not a fan. All right, let's try this Hero chocolate cookie. Hero chocolate cookie. Not sure. We'll find out. Find out how this tastes. It's definitely drier than an Oreo. See if I can show you guys that. Hero, it's got the similar like Oreo pattern. It is Libsco. Yeah? No. No, it's not. Oh, yes, it is. It's backwards. Fibsco. Did they even do like a fake company? Because isn't Libsco who makes Oreos? Or made Oreos or something? Okay, we're gonna try it. That's okay. It kind of doesn't have any flavor at all. I don't know if it's because the whatchamacallit was so strong, the brown sugar, that this just doesn't, it isn't it. Yeah. Nah. Nah. Man, kind of a miss on all the snacks today. The only thing we have left is the Puchow. I still don't really know how this works, but it's the Demon Slayer grape Puchow. I don't know what this is gonna do. Ooh, that smells really, oh, it's candy. I wasn't expecting this at all. Okay, so it's like little candies. There you go. You have a little Rengoku candy there. Look at that. Yeah, we got a little Rengoku. Very nice. Oh, and a sticker. No, that's not a sticker. What is this? They just gave me like credits. Okay. I wonder if they all have different flavors. Got a bunch of them here. Got blue, green, pink, orange. Let's try one of each. Got to be hospitable. We're gonna try one of each here. All right, so we're gonna start out with our green one. We're gonna go with green first. These are actually like hard candies. Maybe we won't do all of them because I feel like that would take too long. Life Voyager redeemed a dad joke. You got it. Oh, they're like Haichus. Oh, fascinating. Yeah, they look like a little like Haichu, like with a little juice inside. Yeah, a little Haichu with a little juice inside. Yeah, it's like a Now and Later. Now and Later mixed with a Haichu. Okay. If you guys don't mind smacking while I eat, I'll read you a dad joke. Okay, here's your dad joke. Did you hear about the one... Oh, excuse me. Did you hear the one about the 83-year-old woman who talked herself out of a speeding ticket? Did you hear him? 83-year-old woman talked herself out of a speeding ticket. She told the officer that she had to get somewhere before she forgot where she was going. Hilarious. Can't stop laughing. These are good. These are good, but I feel like I don't need to try all of them. There you go. Life Voyager, thanks for your redemption of your dad joke there. Appreciate you. Okay, and some peach and orange tea to wash it down one more time. Nice. Nice. Well, all in all, the treats were not that good. The treats were not very good, but the actual like experience itself, the manga looked good. The pricing added up just fine. I think we're in a good spot. I feel like we got some good manga here to read. We got Shadow's House again, Volume 1 of Shadow's House. We got the Hunter's Guild Red Hood, and we got 1721. You can't beat it. You can't beat it. You got 3 good manga here from well-known authors, at least one of them. Mangaka there that has, you know, done a good stuff. I like that this is like an anthology. It's like a bunch of one-offs. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. So I'll let you guys know how they are. If you want to follow me on Goodreads, that's where I typically post my reviews of books and manga and that kind of thing. You can find me there, probably under Nerdpastor Nate. I'm sure that if you type in Nerdpastor Nate over on our Twitch stream, !MPN, you'll pull up my link tree, find all that stuff. Otherwise, it's linktree/Nerdpastor Nate. And yeah, we're going to wrap it up. We're going to wrap it up over here on TikTok, and we're going to wrap it up here on Manga Spice Cafe. If you're watching here on Twitch, be sure to say hello to YouTube, because this will get cut up and posted to YouTube later. So drop some hey YouTubes over in the chat here on Twitch. If you're on TikTok watching us, thank you for being here. I appreciate you trying out this test thing. Hopefully we'll go on TikTok more. Welcome in, Duck. Yeah, good to see you. We'll try to go on TikTok more often because I want that stream key. I'm going to do all I can to get that stream key so then I can actually go live through here, because apparently Twitch doesn't mind if you go live on TikTok. So Nate Talk is here. It's coming. It's happening. With that, we're going to wrap this up like we always do with our 3 things that we believe. Hang on. Let's try again. We're going to wrap this up with the 3 things that we believe to be true about every single one of you out there, regardless whether or not you believe in God, don't believe in God, go to church, don't go to church, hate God. None of that stuff changes these 3 things. Number 1, that God loves you, like really, really loves you. Number 2, we love you. We want community with you. Number 3, we believe that you, yes, you matter. You are a person of sacred worth. The world is a better place. Why? Because you are in it. Folks, with that, until the next time that I see you. Bye-bye! Okay, and goodbye to you as well over here on TikTok. Thank you for watching. God loves you, we love you, you matter. We'll try and stream more often whenever we do cool stuff like this, but we are glad that you're here and hope that you'll check out some of the TikTok channel here. I've got some silly things. Hey, go touch some grass. We just said go touch grass. We love that. We're here for it. Okay. Thanks for being here, folks, and thanks for tuning in. Hopefully, as we do more cool stuff like these unboxings, we'll try to tune in over here on TikTok. But I'm going to sign off. So, as I just told everybody over here, 3 things we believe to be true about every single one of you out there. I feel like I'm saying this a million times a day. 3 things we believe to be true about every single one of you out there. Number 1, that God loves you. Number 2, we love you. Number 3, you matter. You are a person of sacred worth. Whether you believe in God, don't believe in God, go to church, don't go to church, hate God, hate the church. None of that stuff changes those 3 things. We believe them resolutely about each and every one of you. So, until the next time that I see you, be well. Bye-bye. I'm going to figure out how to sign off on TikTok because I don't know. Yes, end it now. Bye. Cool. Man, that was really fun. TikTok's wild, huh? TikTok is wild. We had 203 viewers at one point. We got 14 diamonds. I don't know what that means. 690 likes and 4 viewers who commented. That was wild. Cool. Yeah, all the things. TikTok is so insane. So like we were talking about, yes, I was live there simultaneously. Does not break Twitch's rules. It's the one platform that doesn't break the rules. Submit. Although, in all truth, Twitch is actually backing off of those anyway. Man, that was wild. Hopefully, we got the stream key. Because I would love to make that happen. Lots of people asking to join me. I was like, I love ya. Love you, mean it. Don't know who you are. But that was wild. So where does that go? Do we just have like a whole new like... Where do lives go? Can I like download it? All right, this could be done at other times. This could be done at other times, and we got to play some Pokemon's White. We got to play some Pokemon's White. So, this peach tea really is pretty good. If you like peach rings, this is like the bomb. Oh boy. All right. Let's see if I can remember where I was. Hop back on. Enjoy some time here in Pokemon White. Thanks everybody for being here. I'm tired. That was an exhilarating 20 minutes. I still haven't read the manga from last month, by the way. I'm just now reading Yozakura Family, and I gotta say, it might be like one of my favorite new ones. It might be one of my favorite Manga Spice Cafe I've ever got. I like it so much more than Spy X Family. Okay. Don't do that again. Whatever that was, please. Thank you, camera. All right. Everybody say bye to Spoofy. Everybody say bye, Spoof. If I can find it. Why the Monka? Why the Monka? Because the bye Spoofy. You got a problem saying bye Spoofy? Wink. Nice. All right, we back in it. That looks real loud. I'm gonna crank it down. Oh, the orange flash. Yeah, what was that about, huh? That was strange. All right, so I remember I'm in like the Lavender Town equivalent right now. But I think I needed to go heal. I think I wasn't looking too hot, if I recall correctly. Yeah. Need to go heal. Honestly, might need to go grind. Might need to go grind a little bit. Not good. See, this is not okay. Oh boy. Can you please play Mystery Dungeon on a PokeMonday sometime? Sure. Okay. Well, this is past Nate kind of stepping on current Nate's fingers right now. It still feels a little loud. Pokemon Day is February 27th. Is that a Monday this year? That's crazy. I hope they announce a live. Normally they do their lives on Tuesday through Thursday, any of those days. But maybe they'll do a Monday. You think Game Freak will get its ports to Switch Online? Rumor Mill is like a package purchase deal. So they'll do like RBY will be like $60 extra one-time purchase if you have Nintendo Switch Online. But who knows? The thing is I just don't see any feasible way they don't charge full price. There's no way. I'm trying to remember how much RBY were individually on 3DS, and I think it was $20. It might have been $15. Available to purchase, yeah, hopefully. That's just rumor mill. It could be wrong. They're not really my vetted rumor mill that's typically correct is not hearing anything. I'm worried I might get rushed to the emergency room. I might get rushed to the Pokemon. I really just don't have it. But yeah, now that I have my vertical canvas set up in OBS, I really would like to stream TikTok. At the very least, our PokeMondays. Don't think they'll start with Fire Red Leaf Green. I think it'd be awesome. Here's why I don't think that. And it's because of the people that are in Nintendo Switch Online. I think it's clear the expansion pass is their premium, and that's where their Game Boy Advance is. And I think they're going to start with their basic class. I think they're going to start with the $20 a year rather than the 100 or 60 or whatever it is. I don't think they'll start with Game Boy Advance. I could be wrong. No. I don't know if I'm going to make it back. I do not know if I'm going to make it back to the Pokemon Center. I mean, I'm not really I'm not evolving any like friendly Pokemon right now, so it's not really a big deal if I die and white out. But I would like to just make it back. Oh, TikTok. It is an unmitigated nightmare over there. I've been trying to like learn from TikTok, and so I've been scrolling through some lives to try and like understand what their live community looks like. Dude, it's bonkers. I'll see totally normal, one after another, completely like Twitch, but vertical. And then out of nowhere, there'll be something that's just not even necessarily gross, but just weird. Just weird. There's this one video of this child who is suffering from a pretty serious disease that causes an infant's head to swell to truly disturbing levels. Like Geiger levels horror. And they always show up. And I'm like, what did I do? What did I do to get me here? What in the algorithm was like, this is for Nathan. This is for him to see. What did I do? I like dog videos and videos of children that are silly, that are like growing up and their parents are making fun of them. And it's like the parents are like, look at my silly child. Those are my videos. Parenting videos and dog videos. And somehow I end up on this video of this Geiger-esque child with a swollen head. And I feel awful for the child, of course. I want health. I don't want exploitation. Hopefully, at the very least, my couple seconds of views before I quickly scroll by are at least paying for medical bills. One can dream. It's so bizarre. So incredibly bizarre. TikTok. Don't trust it as far as I can throw it. TikTok is purely rural Chinese slice of life videos. Ooh. Now I can't say as much of slice of life, but there are definitely some weird rural Chinese videos that I get that are not calming at all. They're the like shock and horror ones where it'll be like this guy and there's like a goose chasing him, and the next video is him chopping off the goose's head. Man! Past Nate. Past Nate, what are you doing? Send them to me. I'll keep that in mind. Or the one with the guy that cooks using the intestines, but not the actual intestines themselves, but what's inside. And it was disturbing. It was very disturbing. I'm sure it's a delicacy. It's a thing. I'm sure it's a thing. I'm gonna tell myself it's a thing. We are really in trouble. We are really, really, really in trouble. All right, Boaz. Send us back to the Pokemon Center, buddy. It's like Taco Bell meat. Except I love Taco Bell meat, so I clearly must love it. What you up to, NPN? I am currently, first off, welcome back, Hunter Fan Mom. It's been a little while. We're glad you're back. Glad to see you. I am currently playing Detroit Become Human and really enjoying it. Really, really enjoying it. I'm super into it. I was super concerned about the David Cage-ness of it all, but I'm actually hardcore into it. It scratches that noir itch that I love. I think my favorite stories are very much the Connor and detective, lieutenant detective, lieutenant detective Copster. His Clancy Brown's bits are my favorite. And I did not know he was in the game. I had no idea that he was in this game. Whenever I saw him show up in the credits, I was like, what? Clancy Brown's in this? We're not gonna do stealth rock. I don't foresee too much metagaming going on. I still have to watch Last of Us. I still have not seen Last of Us episode 6. That's still on my docket. And reading. What am I reading? Not much. I'm kind of in a lull right now with reading. I just got done with a bunch of really good books. Oh, go into Pokemon Center. I cannot believe we did not die. What am I reading right now? I guess I'm reading that Yozakura Family. Been building my business, so I haven't had lots of Twitch time. Hey, that's all good. That is all good. We're glad to have you whenever you're around. Welcome in. Hopefully business building is going well. Hopefully it's not just taking your time, but also paying those bills. At the very least, building that network so you can pay the bills eventually. All right, back to the lighthouse. Watch Herbie. Well, I bet she was a Pokemon Center. I bet I made it all this way and she was the Pokemon Center the whole time. How much you want to bet? Because I'm thinking it's pretty likely. Aw, Litwick. Really didn't like Litwick. Building that network now, making a little bit of money on the way. Hey, you got to do it. It's the grind, right? Yeah, I hear you. I remember what I was reading. I said I was reading One Punch. That was in my answer during TWIG. Caught up on One Punch Man. I still have quite a few Viz to catch up on. I wonder what's next. What Viz am I going to read next? I also just got this Forest app. Have you ever heard of Forest? Let's see. My Hero, I'm just one chapter behind. Dragon Ball Super, I'm one chapter behind. I want to not finish, but I want to keep reading Sakamoto Days. I've really been enjoying that manga. Maybe I'll start One Piece again eventually. I don't know, dude. One Piece is just so long. Ronan, do you like Litwick? Do you want me to catch the next Litwick that I see? I don't think I've got one. I could use a fire type, to be honest. Want to have a battle with me? I do not, in fact. But I will. No to what, says Wish. No to catching up on One Piece. I'm on chapter 700. It's such a grind, man. It feels like every year I get in a One Piece grind where I read like 100 to 150 chapters. And then I'll not touch it for a year. It's such a grind. I did see a guy on TikTok the other day that had a One Piece themed gym. That was pretty dope. I'm gonna try and work on my posture a little bit here. Posture. Sit up a little straight. Good try. Dope. Oh, come on. I just want the Pokeball. Ronan, I'm going to catch this Litwick just for you. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. It's going to happen. Nope. I definitely thought that was where my dark move was, but it was on my other Mon. Hopefully it'll paralyze at the very least. We can get something from it. I'll take it. Now let's see if Blessed Assurance takes it down or not. Ooh, I'm burnt. Oh, it's not even Assurance, it's Pursuit. After all my jokes. Smash! Good. That should be catchable. BRB. See ya, Hunter fan. Appreciate you. I'm gonna catch up Litwick. Are we gonna name it Ronan? Or Ronan, do you have a name that you have for it? Is it Lumiere? Well, let's see, we need to do our robot voice, of course.
Litwick, the candle Pokemon. While shining a light and pretending to be a guide, it leeches off the life force of any who follow it.
Give a nickname? Absolutely. Ronan it is. Now we shall always know. Now I gotta figure out who to trade it out of my squad for. We'll do that. Don't let me forget. Do not let me forget the next time we go to the Pokemon Center to trade it out. Any Dark type moves? Nope. Alright, hopefully he'll just be strong enough. Just pure Chuck strength. Oh no, it's Ghost type! Okay, we're gonna need a different Mon. Got Assurance. Blessed Assurance. Jesus is mine. Oh, I've been doing this disciples journal that follows the lectionary 3-year calendar, and they include on the right hand side a snippet from a John Wesley sermon or paper, and then right next to it a Charles Wesley hymn. But they don't tell you where to find the hymn. And I have been listening to some weird hymns that have taken me forever to find them. I have had to use all of my elementary school knowledge of how to Google things. It's been daunting. I don't know why. I don't know why they don't put the exact. They put credits. They source it, but they don't tell me, like, look in your United Methodist hymnal number this. And that's what I need. That's the only way that I understand what I'm even looking at. You don't tell me exactly where to go in the hymnal, I don't know what you're talking about. The index number, I'll tell you. Let me tell you exactly what it is. This week the citation was collection 1781, number 273, 3 and 4, 886.886. Hang on. So there you go. They cite it. So it's possible that if I go to number 273 in the hymnal, that might be it, but I don't think so. Because I've done that before and it's not really. It's possible I'm a dummy. So I have to find the common tune. Yes, exactly. Yes, I have to find the common tune. So there was one the other day that I found the common tune and I played it and I sang it. And so I for all I know, I made up a hymn the other day. I found what I thought was the common tune and I just sang it to the best of my knowledge. I just want to keep a practice. I want to have a prayer practice, and I can't find the hymns. And they're all very obscure, you know, very strange, Charles Wesley niche. The deep cuts, if you will. The Charles Wesley deep cuts, dude. Oh man, I'm here for the deep cut collection. When is Anthony Santana gonna rate Charles Wesley, dude? Deep cuts, man. Tea's good. Tea's good. I really don't like peach rings, but I'm here for the tea. But yeah, so I found it. That is actually a hymn that is in the hymn. I found it eventually. It took some time, but it's not called that. It's not called whatever the first line was. It's actually that. Those are the third and fourth verse of the name of that hymn. So I had to search and then do the quotes around it so that I found exactly those words in exactly that order. I reverse searched on Hymnary and I found exactly what hymn it was from. Then I found that hymn, then I found the common tune, and then I found a file. And now I'm good. But it ain't as easy as just going to the United Methodist Hymnal page index in Hymnary and then using that. I wish it were that easy. It should be that easy. It's not that easy. Unless I'm just a dummy. It's very possible I'm just a dummy. I'm not going to make any bold claims of not being a dummy. You guys gotta be real. I'm so excited for Thursday because I have been missing my Space for the Unbound. I'm so excited to play it again. It is all I think about. Like, as soon as I get done playing that game on a Thursday and then I come back to you guys that next Thursday, it's like all I think about. I'm so ready for it. I'm so into the story, digging the narrative. I do think I figured out our next Thursday game. So after we finish Space for the Unbound, I think we're going to do the Case for the Golden Idol. I've been listening to the Triple Click podcast, if you've never heard of it. It's Jason Schreier. I should know their other names. Kirk Hamilton. And one more. And she's a very important person. She's like super high up at Polygon. Whatever. The three of them do an excellent job, and they put together a great show. And all three of them, so they have this thing called One Last Thing that they end the show with. And they say, like, this is one last thing that I'd like to recommend before we're done. And it like took over each of their lives in turn. So like it started with Jason, and Jason was like, you got to try this thing called The Case of the Golden Idol. And the next week Kirk played it and was like, you got to try this thing. Or it was like, I really, like, Jason recommended it and now I'm recommending it because it was so good. And then the next week the other person played it. And by the end of it, like, all three of them had played this game and raved about it. And I was like, well, now I got to play it. So I'm going to play it. It's going to happen. It was like contenders for their GOTY. And it didn't even show up at the Game Awards. And so now I feel like I've missed it. So it bumped itself right on up to the top of my list. They even compared it a little bit to Pentiment, and for those of you that know, I gave Pentiment a 5 out of 5 stars. So now I really gotta play. Also, you may have noticed at some point while we were live on TikTok that I got real quiet and like decided whether or not to say something at one point, and that was because somebody said I had a cute face. And so I was like, oh, one of those, huh? And so, yeah. I was like, do I try and figure out right now how to moderate TikTok and delete that comment? I was like, is it worth that? And then I decided it wasn't worth that. And so I just let it be. I let it lie. So I guess I have a cute face. Now we know. The more you know. I forgot that Yamask was from this game. And the only reason I remember that Yamask is from this game is because I remember trying to pronounce his evolution. Whenever we ranked this gym. Still have not seen any ads show up. Have you guys seen any ads? I think something's wrong. I think I've done something wrong. Golett, is that a rock ghost type? Is Chuck not going to be able to affect him? We're going to try that. These little high chews were the best thing I got. The little high chews, the little demon slayer ones were the best thing I got. Well, let's try Rock Smash, but I have a feeling it's not going to affect him. Yeah. Thought so. That doesn't either. Didn't remember that. Goofy Gus. Ooh! Magnitude 7? Yikesters. We're probably going to trade out Bryce Cream for Ronin. I'd rather have ice than fire, to be honest. Or, I mean, fire than ice. Excuse me. Oh, no, wait, I have Pig Knight, though. Aw, man. I guess it could be my ghost type. You can't trade out your starter. Rats. What'll I do? No, the truth is that you absolutely can trade out your starter, so maybe I should. We're about 5 minutes from another break, so we're going to take another break here in just a moment. Again, I encourage you to grow and stretch your legs. Take a little time for yourself. Touch grass. That's what I need to do. Instead of the sound effect of me saying, I just want to be done, I should find a sound effect of touching grass. It has to have been memed somewhere at this point. Somebody's memed it. I guess I could always try to push an ad myself. Let's see what happens if I try to push it. I run an ad. Just thinking. And it says it's running. There's no thing showing up. Man. I guess it doesn't work. I must have something set wrong. I'll look into it. I'm gonna figure it out. It's too cool not to make it work. Man, don't make me fight you first. Why I gotta fight you first? Well, I'm sorry for all of you that are watching 1 minute today. Might be. Dipsy dipsy. Now it's possible maybe StreamerBot isn't connected properly. Let's look at that. Let's see if it's StreamerBot's fault. I mean, it auto-started the WebSocket, but it sure isn't showing up. It says partially connected. See me? I don't know. Weird. I'm gonna look into it. But now is not the time. There's got to be something going on, though. Some kind of error. My bet is that I just missed a connection somewhere along the way. That's my issue with all the Twitch stuff, is that it's so many, like, WebSocket, whatever they're called, hooks, web hooks. There's all this stuff like that. And when they work, they're really cool and they work really well. When they don't work, they're maddening. Like, I'm using Atom for our vertical thing. And I'm also using it now for some of our custom commands and like fun stuff. Just fun sounds, like sound effects whenever we go to this thing or that thing. And I have to reset the webhook every single time for the Twitch integration into OBS. That's so irritating. Oh, good. It's taco night! Anybody else have taco night tonight? I feel like my Mexican place is the only one that does it. The perfectly logical thing would be to do Taco Tuesdays, but they do Taco Mondays, and they give us $1 tacos if we buy a drink. So my wife and I go and we eat our heart's content, and it's like $15. If my wife doesn't go, then just I go, and I eat for $7. Last time I've gotten an actually fulfilling meal for $7, I think I was like 6 years old. Why am I not winning? Why has Alola Mola got crazy defense? Should not be taking my like strongest guy that much time to beat Alola Mola. No doubt. No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. All right, Boaz. You got it, buddy? Because I don't think you do, because I have a feeling you got a water type move. Oh, but she sure do use that protect. She sure do use that protect like nobody's business. Just not enough damage. Just not enough. Super effective. I cannot do enough damage to Alola Mola. It is impossible to do enough damage. I just want Nurse Joy, dude. I just want Nurse Joy. I guess win or lose. I don't have any revives, huh? Yes, I do. They should not be in that bag. Haha! That's what you get. Hey! How are you gonna do 2 water pulses in a row? Do my stand attacks, are they a joke to you? Three in a row! I gave you 2 stand attacks. And you laugh at me like this. You throw this back in my face. How dare you? I am offended. Don't confuse him. Thank you, Hurts. It hurts. Put the Hurts on. I swear, if it had not killed Aluminum, I would have been in. If a straight up electric attack on our water type didn't kill it. My team is really healthy. Not after you. Thank you. All right, we're going to take a quick 3-minute break. Give it a quick little pause there and go to a quick intermission. Exclamation point, break time in the chat. Enjoy your 3-minute break, and we'll see you back in just a second. Cracking noises until you end the strike. Do you guys like the cracking noise? How does it sound over the fancy microphone? That used to be how I would do the Predator. But I don't know how it sounds over the microphone. And I used to tell people that I could pop my neck like that. This is really happening at long last. I'm fed up. I can't do it anymore. Spectrum has pushed me too far. You've done too much this time, Spectrum. And you were here for it. The folks that are in the chat right now, you were here for this monumental moment where I finally am broken like the bat by Spectrum. I'm putting on my to-do list right now. Call Spectrum. All of you are here. All of you that are here right now in the chat, you're a part of this moment. You're going to get a badge that says you were a part of this moment of Checkpoint Church history. I'm not even kidding. Do it, please. Make it happen. If you know how to do it. If not, I can look into how to do it. But this is a moment. I'm calling Spectrum. I don't know what it's going to take. I don't know what the difference is going to be, but we're getting a new modem. At the very least, we're getting a new modem and a new router. And this is just absurd. My corner of the internet, and you can't have it, exterminates anyone looking in her direction. Absolutely, Trombone. Only a Dalek could do that. Oh, this is an example of what not to do. Don't be a Dalek. Be a Trombone Dalek in particular. Trombone Daleks, as you know, are notoriously generous. You are allowed to lament. If you've never heard a pastor say that before, let me assure you, you are allowed to lament. You are allowed to doubt. You are allowed to be hurt. You're allowed to be angry. But at the end of the day, whatever your prayer looks like, whether it's an angry prayer, a happy prayer, or whatever it may be, I hope that it gets to the action of entering into a relationship with Jesus Christ and with the body of Christ that is the church. That's what we're about. Oh, I thought it was 3. I thought it was 3 hits. I thought it was 3 hits, and then he was done. I thought it was 3 hits. I thought it was 3. I thought it was 3 hits. And that has been page 54 of the Mirror Mural, presented for your listening pleasure without context. You finally got to see the mural! Wow! What a huge moment, you guys. We have been here. We've been reading from this book for nearly 2 years. We've been reading this book for 2 years, and you just now RNG'd the Mirror Mural. The titular Mirror Mural. Wow. All right, welcome back, welcome back. We are back in it. Actually, we need to go to the DS, don't we? Welcome back into the fun. Yeah, Bleach, I just got a standing desk. So this TV right here is actually on a standing desk, and I was working on it beforehand. Seinfeld slap, yeah. That's always going to be our intermission. Welcome back and exit. Yep, so anytime we go to intermission, that's what plays. But yes, I just got it put in, so it's a riser here, and I'm very excited. I worked on it a little bit today. I've even got a little Bluetooth keyboard to go so that I don't have to worry about wires for that one. No, didn't move anything around. Just this is up higher now. I wish it went completely flush, but that would be obviously quite an accomplishment if they make a riser that becomes completely flush. But it's as low as it can get. And then it gets real tall. It gets tall enough for me. So that's saying something for a 6'4" guy to find a standing desk that is actually okay. But yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot. So I'm looking forward to seeing how we continue to utilize it. I do need to do a new save state. It's an on desk, correct. So rather than just being its own standing desk, it goes on top of my desk. It's too big, but it'll do. It's a bummer that I got one that was like the middle of the line, and I was like, surely this one is like the right size. It's way too big. Gamer Night 45, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. Welcome. We're Checkpoint Church for nerds, geeks, and gamers. Streaming some Pokemon on this fine PokeMonday. Tomorrow, we will actually be doing whatever our Discord decides. So !Point Discord will get you into the Discord. And I put out a voter first thing in the morning, 8:30 typically, Eastern time. And the voter will go up, and you can pick between a game that we're already playing to continue that gameplay, a bonus stream, so something that we've earned through bonus streams that I haven't gotten to yet, or starting a game off my backlog. Those are always our 3 options. And then the 4th option is make a recommendation of a game you'd like to see. So that all happens on the Discord. Discord is the place to be if you're interested in Checkpoint. That's where all the good stuff happens. With that, we're going to get back into some Pokémons. Back into some Pokémons. Everybody's healthy. I did talk to her, didn't I? Are they healed? I'm currently reading and divulging paragraph 501 of 528 of the greatest writing of all time. Sounds riveting. It's also how you know you're a Methodist if you use a Pilcrow. Ever. If you've ever had to use a Pilcrow, you know you're a Methodist or a lawyer. If you've ever had to Google Pilcrow and then copy paste it. Cam, are you also a Litwick fan? Or do we just got Litwick fan after Litwick fan in here? I almost feel guilty for saying that I'm not the biggest Litwick fan. Done with my meeting, so I'm here now. How are things going? They're going. We had quite a wild time. We went live on TikTok for a minute, and that was bizarre. When you've memorized the code, you know it's time to be done. Litwick is one of my favorites from this generation. Sometimes I see that semi-long word and I press too many buttons too fast, never on purpose. I definitely do not have that issue. I'm a slow typer. Alt plus 0182. I did not know that. I just go into symbols and I draw it. Or I type it out. Those are my tactics. See, I was really clever and named my Litwick Candlehead. And I agree. That's definitely clever. Oh no, your second colon. You're missing your colon, Buish. Well, Cam, how did work go? Welcome back. We're glad you're here. Welcome back from your work. I really don't know this generation very well. Hence the reason that I'm playing it. Because I never played it. So far, I don't know if I have a favorite. Honestly, they're all just kind of okay. I have a fighting type for this. I do not want to use hurts. Chuck? Neither do I. Weesh. Yeah, I just missed it. Bypassed it. It's been good. Sad to be working today since so many people have it off, but here we are. Bleach is also working. You're not alone. Wasn't this the game with the Wi-Fi controversy? I'm not sure I know. I never had internet. I didn't have internet when I had a DS. I just didn't have internet. And it was the worst. All my friends had internet and were so cool. I didn't even have dial-up. You had the blue chunky. The brick. Yeah, we didn't have anything. And it wasn't even like a, but if you ever need to go to the internet, like I'll take you to the library. That was not the relationship my parents and I had. So I just didn't. It's probably why the mirror mural happened. That is the reality of the situation. For any of you that are ever proud of the mirror mural or ever like, wow, a 10-year-old wrote that? Yes, a 10-year-old that didn't have internet wrote a book. That was why it happened. The mirror, this is a fun fact for you. The first copy of the mirror mural was downloaded onto a floppy disk, dude. I wrote that thing on our old computer that had a floppy disk drive. That's crazy. Oh my goodness. I should have kept it. I guarantee you they were sold at a yard sale or thrown in the trash or given to the Goodwill. There's no way we still have any of our old floppy disks. Man. Good times. I thought floppy disks looked super cool. I thought they were like, the design, the aesthetic of the floppy disk is above its time. We've never recreated that, okay? The cartridge, not as cool, okay? Even with the little like tongue protected, like nasty tasting stuff, it's not as cool. The CD ruined everything, man. The CD stopped looking cool. Let's see. Do I want to move? I don't really charge. Floppy disks were peak. You're totally allowed to not like Litwick. It is an unstable position. Old man yells at the moon. Man, SNES games are pretty sweet looking. The N64 games, as much as I loved N64, they were just okay. I don't really have anybody to take down Gotham. I'll just try and burn her. Look, I'm not old, Kung Fu Carl. I'm very young. I'm a spring chicken, okay? I am. It's understandable. I thought you were saying unstable as in I was unstable. And I was going to take it. The physical packaging and size of the cartridge. I see. You know what actually I did not ever care for the packaging of was the Game Boy. Any of the Game Boys. I didn't like it. I didn't like the sleeve. I didn't like the sleeve that slotted down there. I'm not a fan. I did a move? I definitely looked away. I did not know that I did a move. I did not mean to do a move. It's not that I don't like Litwick. I have no nostalgia. I have no attachment. There's an HDMI hack for the N64. It's $300 and I need it. We have an N64 HDMI adapter. I don't know about it. It wasn't $300. Oh, I used Roll. Well, this is a predicament. This is a predicament. I loved the little clear plastic cover that went on the bottom of SNES games. What a great use of plastic. Oh, an inner HDMI hack. No, I just use an adapter. I guess, is there a purpose? Is there like, does it do anything better? Or is it just that it's flush? I have some of my NES games in the plastic sleeve. Upstairs. Playing Fire Emblem Engage has made me want to connect my GameCube back up and play Path of Radiance. See, I've never played Path of Radiance. What Pokemon is this one? Gothorita? Or are you talking about Abamoses here? Because it's the, like, Woobat. Swoobat, whatever this one is called. We're going to have to go heal. Come on! There's so many Litwicks up in... Also, hey, Perry. I don't know if I said hey. Welcome in. We're glad you're here. I definitely think of the Litwick line, Litwick is my favorite. I forgot the dog. The only reason I know Gothorita is because they put her in like every game since then. It's been an interesting stream today, Perry. We've done Manga Spice Cafe. We did our latest episode of TWIG. I have the ice cream cone in my party. I'm pretty sure. His name is Bryce Cream. And we went live on TikTok for the first time ever with our Manga Spice Cafe. And it was a bizarre experience. I don't know how I feel about it still. The trash bag may be from this one. I don't know. It may have been from the one after this. The first time I ever saw the trash bag was in Sun and Moon. Yeah, I've never played the Ike games. Cam. I'd be very interested to know more about them. I saw a lot of my like emulator scenes. They all talk about like if the Nintendo Switch actually wants to like do something with their virtual console and impress people, it would be to bring the GameCube to a stable emulation status. Because nobody can really emulate the GameCube very well. And they did a pretty good job with Super Mario Sunshine in that collection. It was pretty much as good as a GameCube emulator I've ever seen. Never played the Wii Fire Emblem, but I love Path of Radiance. And those are in a series together, right? Wasn't it Radiant something? Radiant Dawn or something? You mean 3D All-Stars? I do mean 3D All-Stars. Litwick is kind of cute and Lantern is cool. As the Gen Z would say, Litwick is V cute. The Wii one is a sequel. So I thought so. I thought that was correct. No, I just don't feel like I missed out on the post-Pixel Dream games. You don't feel like you missed out, or you do feel like you missed out? Like you skipped them, or you don't regret skipping them? Sun and Moon are some of my favorite Pokemon games, so you definitely missed out there. My hashtag hot take. Yes, it was solid. It was the polish we all wanted for modern times, but if the Switch expansion is cloud-based, we can't get that performance on our potato chips in the Switch. Don't regret skipping, I see. You should regret skipping Sun and Moon. I can't weigh in on Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield were just kind of okay. This game so far is pretty great. Don't know about X and Y yet, but we'll find out, won't we? And, yeah. Sun and Moon was real good. I unironically really enjoyed Sun and Moon. This is Pixel Gen, so you still consider this. So you're talking X and Y on. White and Black 2 are the best. I look forward to it. I learned that the main character's name in Black and White 2 is Nate, and so I obviously appreciate that. I'm here for it. It almost makes me want to not name them Czech, because that'll be the first time that my name actually lines up with that. I've heard people say that Black and White 2 are their favorites. I wouldn't say Sun and Moon are my favorite. but I really like some. I would regret having not played them, and that was purely in retort to your stance. I would not regret skipping Sword and Shield, although I think Sword and Shield are great. I enjoy them, but the story is nothing to write home about. I found the story of Sun and Moon actually pretty compelling. Gotta be Platinum or Heart Gold Soul Silver for me. Y'all know my favorite Pokemon is Emerald. If you've been around for any of our top 10 videos. Love Emerald. Sword and Shield got a great tutorial. Most of the game, really. Most of the game. Emerald is my solid third every time. What's second? Or is it Platinum, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, swap back and forth for first and second? Yep. Nailed it. X and Y and Sword and Shield Pokemon were cool Pokemon. Agreed. Hardcore. Hardcore agree with that. I think Violet and Scarlet did a really good job with designs. There are always like a handful of Pokemon that I think are like cheesy or not great. But for the most part, I always find at least some Pokemon that I really like. The show at the time was epic too. The Deoxys movie and the remaster was actually dope with addressing the meta. See, that's one thing that I've missed out on, is this show. I couldn't even tell you the last episode of the show I watched. I just got to be like Perry and get my kid into it. Then I'll go back and watch. But I'm worried Nora's not going to be a nerd. Just got to hold out hope for Quinn now. Maybe Quinn will be a nerd. Gen 5 was the last mainline Pokemon until Violet. I had played Let's Go and Legends, but skipped a bunch of the mainlines to 3DS. Yeah, I got a 2DS whenever I was in div school. And that was for Sun and Moon. And I've played every one since Sun and Moon. Hear real good things about the black and white anime from the Zoomers. Worth learning. Is this Gen 5? I played 1 through 4, and then picked it up with Sun and Moon, which was 7. So yeah, I didn't play 5 and 6. Loved Legends. That's what I want. Luis, you talked about Pokemon Day next Monday. That's what I want. I want a new Legends announcement. I don't even care when we get it. If we get it this November, fantastic! Fantastic! I'll lose my mind! That's amazing! But if we get it next January, okay. Doesn't have to be Arceus. But more Legends. Yes, I want more of that playstyle. So badly. Desperately. I need it. More, which Legends will be your dream? Any. All I want. I don't even care about the story, you guys. It does not matter to me what the story is. I want the style. I want to throw more Pokeballs. I want to explore. I want to kneel in the grass. I want that play style again. It was so good. It was exactly what I wanted. Hopefully next Monday we get an announcement. We might, you guys, get a remaster of the game I'm playing right now. I mean, if all is goes according to plan, that's typically what they do. So we may very well get an announcement about a remaster of Gen 5. That's very possible. You know what? It'd be real nice if Litwick would stop killing all my Pokemon. That'd be sweet. Man, and seeing different types of 3D models, that was what was so good about Arceus. On the Switch, a remake makes total sense. Yes. Gen 5 on the Switch makes a lot of sense. Legends makes less sense. I would love to see the next Legends But I think it's very possible that they'll do Gen 6 or Gen 5 on the Gen 5 remaster, the current Switch. If we even get a new console. Who even knows what we're getting at this point? Whoopsie, wrong one. Oh, you came. Thank you. I was right. What I saw was a hurt Pokemon. Don't worry, though. It's fine now. I gave it a max revive. Then it felt better and flew away. Don't I have great eyesight? No matter how far away things are, a pilot's eyes can see them. Oh, that's right. Since you came this far, why don't you ring the bell? Celestial Tower's bell is for soothing the spirits of Pokemon. Also, the character of the Pokemon person ringing the bell, the person ringing the bell, is reflected in its sound. CMA did find some very good evidence of an updated Switch coming soon. I sure hope so. I'd love to see it. Celestial Tower bell, will you ring that bell? You can ring my bell, ring my bell. The sound of the bell reverberates through the area. What a pretty sound. Check, you are a kind and strong person. It's that kind of sound. I'd like to introduce myself again. I'm Skyla, the leader of Mistralton's Pokemon Gym. I was flying a type Pokemon. When you're ready, please come to the gym. I will give you a big welcome. Okay, Skyla. I have a lot of Pokemon cards with you on it. I have so many Pokemon cards with you on it. Was it gonna make me go through all this mess again? All right, time to face another 57 Litwicks. Everybody ready for more Litwicks? More Litwicks and Elgems. Took me an hour to climb this tower. I hope we see some backwards compatibility with the new Switch. Would love to not have to upgrade right away. Yeah. Honestly, I think that's the biggest reason why I think we will see a new Switch. Is because if they're gonna do, like they've got to start now, because just more and more years are backing for backwards compatibility. They continue adding up, and it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough to make a transition if they just have a game console that's 8 years old. Galactic Golbats. Clearly, well now it's just Elgems, so clearly we're okay now. Litwicks are gone. I've killed them all. Excuse me, I fainted them all. You guys want to do a channel prediction? You want to do prediction points of how many more Litwicks we see before we make it out? What about like over-under? What's the over-under? What's a good over-under on Litwicks we'll see before we escape? You guys can bet channel points on it. 5? 10? Let's see. We have at least 4 floors. I think it was 4 floors. What's the over-under? We'll let Weesh make the decision on the over-under, then everybody else can bet. When I was playing the Pokemon TCG over-under 10, okay, do you want to do that, Weesh, or do you want me to do it? When I was playing the Pokemon TCG, an opponent very sternly corrected me that I did not kill their Pokemon. Murdered them. I murdered them. I murdered the PokeMondays. I'm assuming no response is a good response, and that Weesh is about to do it for me. So let's do a channel prediction. Bet channel points on whether or not you think I'm going to go hit more or less than 10 Litwicks before I make it out of this place. More or less than 10 Litwicks. I will do my best to make sure that I get as straight of a line as possible. But all right, 1 minute on the clock. Bet your channel points. See if I hit 10 or less or more. More than 10 or less than 10. I'm gonna go heal. We also need a Litwick counter. 1. 1 Litwick so far. 25 seconds remaining. Bet your channel points, folks. If you want to win big, you could potentially win here. Where do we bet? It should be on the top of your screen. Oh no! I thought it came across the top of your screen. There's not many seconds left either. Oh no! Well, we got some points in there. Under chat, bottom left, click on channel points. I think you were too late, please. You might have to make another. Or we just call it. Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for poor Cam. Cam wanted to participate. I want to play along. If you don't mind. If it's an easy thing to do. It's fine. It's fine, says Cam. You're good. This is 2. My bet would have been over for the record. Okay, well, good to know. So we'll really know if you lost or not. It's not looking good. 3! It's not looking good. I took 1 step, dude. I took 1 step. Come on. Holy moly. Why is that doing so little damage? I swear that sometimes it does more damage and sometimes it does less. There's just got to be a better move for taking down these Litwicks. There just has to be. I don't know if it's because it's not stab or what the deal is. Mercy. Mercy, mercy, mercy. No, I don't want to ask him. I don't actually plan on using Bryce Cream. As soon as I make it out of here, I'm changing out Litwick. Three? Or is this 4? This is 4. The 2 and 3 were right back to back. It is not looking good for the people that voted. I'm glad we didn't do over under 5. 10 was a good call. Canonically, I'm just leaving piles of wax behind me. 5. I can't even make it down the steps without seeing a Litwick, dude. The Litwick Lighthouse is about to drive me wild. Were there exclusives in Black and White? What were the regional exclusives? Like between Black and White. What Pokemon am I seeing because I'm playing White? Let me out of here! Let me out of here! Let me out of here! Ah, it wasn't 4 floors, it was only 3. We did it! We survived! 5. Holy moly. So maybe 5 would have been the better bet. That's crazy. 4 cleared. I got on my bike. I don't have a hotkey. Or do I just walk through? I don't have a bike yet. That was definitely pretty wild. Can't believe how many of them I fought. Alright, let's go change out for Ronan. I feel lied to. I was told there was another floor. You're right. I definitely thought there were 4 floors. Maybe it's just because there were so many Litwicks that made it feel like I was I'm going through more floors. Revolt. Wait, hang on. You have my experience share. Never mind. By the way, I forgot a piece of news that I was going to put in Twig. Did anybody else see the Scarlet and Violet patch notes? I felt like I was dealing with a AAA company out of nowhere. I thought all of a sudden Pokemon was like, yeah, we're going to be AAAs because we totally are. Those patch notes were thorough. They were absolutely thorough. They were lengthy. It was unlike anything I'd ever seen from Nintendo before. It was so out of character. I was like, what on earth? This is not Nintendo style at all. This is not Pokemon style at all. I'm here for it. What's up, Frost? How we doing? All right, I gotta go take on Skyla. If I can find her gym, it'd be a miracle. Oh, that's right. It's like at the airport or whatever. Is it up at the top? Nice. Am I gonna see you this week? I don't know, Frost. You tell me. What did everything work out? I'm definitely not gonna be able to be there for 3 days. If I'm there for 1 day, then I'm in it. But if I got to be there all 3, I'm probably not going to be able to do it. And I totally get if that's something that you guys have got to make a call on. Oh, I see. I did see you on my computer screen again. The stupid time changes on March 12th? It sure does. I might have a badge for you Sunday. I'll ask my wife about Sunday. But that'll probably work. I could probably do Sunday. I have to get real early. Yep. I'm trying to do my Thursdays before the sun comes up. And it's technically Nate After Dark. No kidding. Even with stab. Will you let me know, Frost? I will do whatever works best for you guys. I would love to see everybody. It'd be a blast. But I also feel ya. You gotta make the best call. The best bang for the buck. But yes, I watched the Fellowship of the Nerd thing. I've got someone who can't be there Sunday, so he's willing to leave his badge with me. I mean, I'm there. I'm there if y'all will have me. If that's kosher with the tantrum folks. I get to work at 5:45 a.m., so I'll be catching you right as you start. Oh, that's real early to get to work, Sneak. That's like my wife's hours. She gets there that early. Although, truth be told, I kind of like it because I think that's my style. I'm an early to rise. I'll be up early, so might as well get to work early. That's my mentality. I'd rather do things that require no brain at night. That's why border ministry papers were so hard, was because I couldn't work on them until after 9 o'clock when the girls went to bed. Like everybody was asleep. That was really hard. really hard to work on writing Sally tonight. Let me verify with him and I'll DM you deets. Sounds good, Frost. Appreciate it. I'll talk it over with Logan tonight, make sure we're on the same page, and hopefully see you all on Sunday. I'm hoping we're just going to plow through Skyla's gym here. I'm hoping it's going to be real easy. Flying type should not be hard to take down, so I'm really hopeful. I don't actually remember what gem this is. How many gems have we made it to? Is this gem 4? Feels like we've been playing this game for so long. It makes sense that we would play this game this long, though, because we've been playing for at least an hour of fighting Litwigs. Litwigs alone have been one of our entire play sessions. Ooh, Sigilif? Is that a flying type? I didn't know that. It makes sense. It definitely has wings. I thought maybe it was just drinking Red Bull. Oh my gosh, my 3-year-old cracked me up yesterday. So we got we got these Valentine's Day cookies for like half off or whatever because it was the day after Valentine's Day, and it was the ones with the little like crystal sugar on top, pink crystal sugar. And so she ate all her dinner, so we were like, do you want a dessert? We've got these cookies. And so we split a cookie. I had half and she had half. She took a bite and she was like, woo! And I was like, oh, it was really good. And then she said, when I eat these, I can fly. And that was the best thing I've ever heard. I mean, she's had some zingers this week, but when I eat these, I can fly, had us legitimately just like rolling on the ground. She's so funny. She's getting such a little like sense of humor and these little like one-liners that just crack us up. So apparently, when you eat those crystal candies, you can fly. Oh, I see. I get it. I get the puzzle. I get the puzzle. I don't get the puzzle. I get the puzzle. She's gonna be 4 soon, so soon. So soon. Like 2 weeks soon. 2 or 3 weeks soon. I'm not okay. Too crazy. Traveling with the kids to Denver? I am not. Haha! Yes! And I'm so excited. I love my children. I love my children. Listen, I love my children. Got a week in Colorado with no children sounds really nice. My wife is really stressing about the week part. But we're doing a red eye, and I maybe looked at the time. Might have gotten a day longer. And so our red eye is a day longer than we thought it was going to be. And that's totally my fault. And I'm also Captain Cheapo, and so I bought totally like absolutely pedestrian tickets. And so whenever I called the person, I was like, is there any way, like, can I bump this up a day? Like I did the wrong thing with the red eye. I'm sure this is not the first time you've ever had this happen. And they were like, well, you didn't purchase the $150 ticket insurance, so sorry, there's nothing we can do. This is in stone. In stone. Going back to the work and lurk. Have a great rest of the stream. See ya. Appreciate you hopping in, my friend. F's in the chat. Who are you flying? American. I mean, it really is just the middiest of mid-flights. Like, I paid for the total consumer package, pedestrian package, with the, like, industry standard basic. It's okay, your red eye will be delayed. Yeah, I'm worried about that. Because my wife is already, like, a sleepy person. And so getting her to stay up until midnight is going to be a feat in and of itself. Finally back. Welcome back, Hunter Fan Mom. You're just in time for the last little 20 minutes. Plenty of time. You're also just in time for the gym leader, hopefully. I might go heal up before I do it. We'll see. Dad joke? Sure. That has become a popular new redemption, huh? Popular new redemption. Ooh, don't like that one. Don't like that one. All right, see if you can come up with the answer, okay? Question. Why do you go to bed at night? Why do you go to bed at night? Anybody know? Anybody know why you go to bed at night? Bleach says there's an amazing cheeseburger you gotta eat in downtown. Please tell me. Please tell me what cheeseburger I need, please, because I need to know. 100 PM doesn't know. Why do you go to bed at night? Because the bed can't come to you. Meadowlark Kitchen, I love it. I need to write it down. Let me text it to my wife. Meadowlark Kitchen. If it's a good, well, if I can find my mouse, where'd it go? My wife. Meadowlark Kitchen. She'd be like, why did you just text me Meadowlark Kitchen? I'm here for a good burger. You have my absolute attention. If you tell me a good... Did I just hit the wall? You tell me a good burger, I'm here. All right, Skyla, I really don't know about this. A good burger? I'm telling you, there's a certain magic. There's a certain magic to a good burger. COVID killed it? No, please. Oh, I'm devastated now. Talk about having the rug immediately pulled out from underneath you. I've been waiting for you. Did you enjoy flying with the help of Miss Strout and Jim Cannons? They're my pride and joy. This time, let's try something else. He texts me random things, and I'm like, what is that? And he'll send a non-explanation. Oh, I thought you meant the burger thing. But yeah, I do. I absolutely. I'll drop a bunch of like TikToks as well over to my wife, and she'll just be like, stop sending me these without any context. Like, tell me what it's about. The only thing I'll ever include after I send her a TikTok is if it's something she can watch and work or not. That's all over time. The fam is going to Paradise Valley Burger next week. I'm already counting days. Is that at Arizona? Is that an Arizona exclusive? If I'm ever in Arizona, do I need to know about Paradise Valley? So I'm telling you, I'm here for good burgers. The Jenny's Splendid Ice Creams at Old Town Scottsdale. Take them while you're there. I definitely saw Perry the other day talking about Jenny's. When I think about a match with a fabulous trainer like you, it's like I'm walking on air. Okay. Go away. Did I ever send you a picture of all the stickers on my laptop? I don't think so. But I love to see it. I always love when folks send in, they get our sticker pack and they send me a picture. So I would love to see it. TV burger, burger, it's fire. Nah, I don't think so. No, I said no. I said I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it. Give up on it. I have never seen Unpheasant look like that. Does Unpheasant have a gender coloring? Have I only ever seen a boy Unpheasant and this is a girl Unpheasant? I've never known. Hey, Swana. This is my last Pokemon, but I'll never give up hope. Oh, I'm so sorry, Skyla. I critted on your main Pokemon. I didn't even get to see your fun move. Ah, bummer, dude. I just get the TM and I didn't even get to see it being used. Being your opponent in battle is a new source of strength to me. Thank you. Sorry, Skyla. You're an amazing Pokemon trainer. My Pokemon and I are happy because for the first time in a while we could fight in our full strength. This is an official League gym badge. I think it'll look good on you. Thanks, Skyla. I'm real sorry. I'm just real sorry. Ooh, no, that was our 6th badge? Whoa. Wow, hot stuff. With that, mini gym badges, Pokemon at level 70 will obey you. Also, as thanks for a Pokemon battle that made me very happy, I want you to have this TM. Acrobatics. Yeah, I didn't even get to see it used once. That's hilarious. Twist Mountain on the way to Icarus City. Team Plasma, is that the name? Anyway, they're heading to that city. What kind of people are they? Okay, so we have 6 badges. So that means I'm pretty sure we're about to experience our Team Rocket, our Team Plasma experience. Hello, N. They may say it is for understanding one another better, but what trainers really use battles for is to compete, and they hurt each other's Pokemon. Am I the only one who finds this terribly painful? Whatever. I'm going to talk to your Pokemon. I've been living with Pokemon since I was born, so it's easier for me to talk with them than with people, because Pokemon never tell lies. Okay, posted in general Discord because I didn't know where else to put it. I think that's a great spot. Hey, Zebstrika, would you tell me what kind of trainer Czech is? Okay, got it. So, Czech was born in Novema Town, lives with Mom, and was given the Pokédex to start off a journey to see the world. Still, this Zebstrika trusts you for some reason. Well, that's good. If every person in Pokemon cared about one another like you two do, I could watch over the future of people in Pokemon without having to liberate Pokemon from people who just use them. Getsis is using Team Plasma to search for some special stones, the Light Stone and the Dark Stone. These stones hold the essence of 2 legendary Pokemon. It is said that when they lost their physical form, they fell into a slumber and were transformed. Now, they wait for the hero's arrival. I shall resurrect a legendary Dragon-type Pokemon from one of these stones and become its friend. That will show the world that I am the new hero. Everyone will follow what I say. My vision is to change the world without using force. Trying to change the world by force will just make others resist. If people resist, the ones that will be hurt are the innocent Pokemon used by foolish trainers. You understand. People are not just tools for people to use. As a result, Pokemon and trainers who care about one another, like you and your Pokemon, will be separated. And that does break my heart a little. Just a little, though. Just the tiniest little baby little bit. Not a lot. Just an inkling. My heart's broken just a little bit. I'm not your dude, brah. I'm not your bruh, dude. Whoopsie. Okay, we only got a couple minutes left, so we're gonna go ahead and save. And then we'll just do a couple more minutes of just chatting. I just realized I never changed the category. Hoopsie-doopsie. We'll just hang out for the last couple minutes here. Rather than get lost with the next thing that I try to do, because I know I'm going to get confused. I'm not going to know where I am the next time that I start up next week. So instead, we're just going to wrap it. We're just going to wrap it. We're just going to hang out for the last couple minutes here. Oop, whoopsie. Well, that wasn't supposed to happen. I tried to click the little play button, but it's not coming up. Come on, little mini play button. Okay, fine. I'm brah, buddy. Spoofy. Welcome back, Spoofy. We'll have to turn it up a little bit because Spoofy's real quiet now. But yeah, Spotify DS cartridge. Yeah, no big deal. Just a Spoofy on the DS. You guys know Spoofy on the DS. Let's look at Hunter Fam stickers. Oop, too big. The highest fidelity. Oh no. Do you know I discovered I can lock those and I just still haven't done it? Is Spoofy even playing? Is it just crazy quiet? Feeling coy is too quiet. All right, there are Hunter Fam stickers. Chats in the clap. I already see them. Chats are right there. God loves you. We love you. You matter. You matter. Checkpoint. We love it. We love to see it. We love to see it. Love the stickers. We've really got to work on making stickers of other like catchphrases and things that we've come up with over the years. Like I think this needs a sticker.
I just want to be done.
I think we need an I just want to be done sticker.
Done with it. I'm tired, boy. I'm so tired doing it. I just want to be done.
Like I think I would wear an I just want to be done shirt.
I don't want any more. I don't want it.
I'm here for it. Maybe we'll make that happen. We are doing a challenge. For those of you that don't know, we're doing a t-shirt challenge. Our monthly merch challenge. If you want to participate, the theme is refresh. You do not have to use anything from Checkpoint. You do not have to use the word Checkpoint or our logo. You don't have to do anything like that. It just has to be centered around the idea of refresh. And submit that to me. It can be a drawing. It can be a high quality rendering. It can be a vector image. If you don't know what a vector image is, then it really can just be like a doodle that you did on a napkin. Whatever you want to submit as your design, send it in to me by the end of the month, and we'll do a little voter, and I'll make it, and it'll be new merch in March. So that is out there. We've only gotten one submission so far, and it's a wonderful submission, and I would love to see it win. You can send a picture of the napkin. You can send a picture of it to my DMs. That's how to do it. Like a font, you could do it. You could just pick a font online and send me a picture of the font. But it needs to be able to be at least visually representable so that I can let people vote on it. So it needs to be an image. I'm going to put it in a voter, and then people will be able to vote on it. But if we don't make that happen, then I don't know how to make it happen. But that goes until the end of the month. The theme is refresh. That's all. It doesn't have to use the word refresh. It can just be an image that is evocative of the concept of refreshing. It can be whatever. It can be whatever. But that is going to be that's the theme. And we're going to start doing it every month. So we're going to do these every single month, but only if people participate. If people aren't engaging with it, then it's probably not the right time or the right thing for us to do, and so we'll just cut it. And I'll go back to trying to design some merch every now and again. But I would love to see us have one piece of community-designed merch every month. I think that's super cool. And Teespring just makes it too easy. It's too easy. You can so easily do it. It's like Redbubble. You guys remember Redbubble? It's still around too. I just found that I liked Teespring's quality more than Redbubble. Not even that much more, just a little bit more. Custom Ink still does a better job than all of them. What's up, Action Ninja? Thanks for your lurk. Welcome in. Hope you're having a good week. Enjoy your lurk. TikTok, man. That's throwing me for a loop. We're going to try and do more stuff like that. Try and expand to our TikTok reach, I guess. At least whenever we have special things like Manga Spice Cafe. It's easy enough to do. I just want that stream key, man. Because then I'll be able to just do the vert video, Canvas. I can just make us go live to TikTok there. I don't really know how the chat works there. Could I send it on Whispers? Sure thing, Ronan. If you would rather DM it to me over on Discord, that is definitely where I check more frequently. But you can send it in Whispers. Does Whispers let you drop files? I don't know. Can't, never mind. So Discord is probably the best way to do it. ! Discord in the chat. It'll take you to our Discord. And I'm Nerd Pastor Nate on there. We also have social medias, so any of them You can DM me on any of them. If you rock Facebook, you can find Checkpoint Church on Facebook and DM it to us there. Or you can find us on Twitter, Checkpoint Nerd. Or you can find me on Twitter, Nerd Pastor Nate. Or you can find our Instagram, Checkpoint Church NC, I think. Actually, it may just be Checkpoint Church. Doesn't allow photos. Yeah, I figured Twitch probably wouldn't. But we got options. We got options. I'm still working on branding for my bookkeeping business. Sadly, I don't currently have the bandwidth for more creativity. I mean, I would be loath to recommend Fiverr because it's definitely stealing some jobs and maybe almost making it too easy. But never heard back about the mug. Did you not get a mug? Did you win a mug and not get one? Then I need to make that happen for you. I don't have you written down as one that gets a mug. Was that recently that you won that? And I just blanked on it. Typically, I try to write them down, but it's possible one fell through the cracks. Or maybe did you send me your address through the whispers and I missed it there? I'll write it down. It's also possible that it may be on the way and I did send it and it just takes a long time to send. I'll look into it. I'll put a question mark. Just to make sure. Never heard back when I whispered my address. Okay, well, if I didn't respond to you, then odds are I didn't see it. I'll look again. Because typically I would at least give a confirmation of like, got it. But not always. Yeah, Twitch whispers I don't like. I don't know. I don't know if they just don't show up in a like logical spot for me. They're right up there. Yeah, I see it. Okay. Very weird. Well, I will send that to you. We'll make it happen. Yeah, I see your whispers now. So strange. And there's a random one for Off from Hunter Fan Mom. And another one from K-Slew. I haven't even seen him forever. So bizarre. We need an administrator. That's what we need. Anyway, Hunter Fam, I was saying I'm loath to recommend Fiverr, but Fiverr sure does do good work. Of course, I would always love to shout out my good friend Outofsense. I've looked at Fiverr and I'm still not sure what I want, and it's tax season, so my brain is on overload. Yes, I hear that. I've got to send in my tax organizer to our tax person still. Outofsense, the OG. That's right. So if you like our checkpoint branding, then Outsense is the one that did all that. Set us up with a good brand style guide right from the get-go. We got to find somebody to raid, folks. It's time for a raid. I think I have a graphic designer who could make a good t-shirt design. We'll do it. I will. Hey, if it wins, I will buy 2 free t-shirts. So a t-shirt for the winner and a friend. That's the dealio. Let's see. I feel like Tsunami Gaming always comes and lurks, and we never send anybody their way. So we should go raid Tsunami Gaming. Or did we raid them last week or like 2 weeks ago or whatever? And it was when they were just stopping. Oh, D. Greg's is also live. Hang on, let's go see if Tsunami's about to. No, Tsunami's still going. Tsunami is still going and always is super kind and hangs out in our chat. So we'll send some love over to Tsunami Gaming. Let's raid them. Folks, we are Checkpoint Church. We are really a church. I'm Nerd Pastor Nate. I'm really the pastor of this community. We're a church plant here on Twitch, Discord, and YouTube. Our main plant is over on Discord. All the good stuff happens there. Exclamation point Discord. If you've ever joined that community, that is the place to be. That's where all the good stuff happens, all the action happens. We are streaming Monday, Tuesday, Thursday currently. Hopefully bringing back Wednesdays and Fridays somewhere in the near future. I'm just kind of still figuring out how to make all that stuff work. But we will be around. And let's see. What was I about to say? YouTube, we post nerdy sermons every single Sunday, except for this past Sunday because my kids were sick all last week, and we just always got good stuff going on. So we're going to go raid Tsunami Gaming, but before we do, we got to tell you 3 things that we believe to be true about every single one of you out there, regardless of whether or not you believe in God, don't believe in God, go to church, don't go to church, hate church. None of that stuff changes these 3 things. Number 1, this is like the 5th time I've said that today. Number 1, we believe that God loves you, like really, really loves you. Number 2, we love you. We want community with you. That's what we're doing here on Twitch, Discord, and YouTube. And then number 3, we believe that you, yes, you matter. You are a person of sacred worth. The world is a better place. Why? Because you are in it. Folks, with that, until the next time that I see ya, if you would not mind sending some love over to Tsunami Gaming. Normally, raids on Twitch have a big raid thing that you copy and paste. All I ask is that if you followed us, you got a You Matter emote. If you would go spam that You Matter emote in Tsunami Gaming's chat and let Tsunami and the other followers going there know that they matter, that would mean the world to me. So with that, until I see you tomorrow, 1 o'clock, same time, same place here on twitch.tv/checkpointchurch, or sooner over in the Discord like right now, where I'll go hang out at this. Wherever I see you, I look forward to seeing you then. Till next time, bye-bye!